you just introduce yourself?
My name is Doug Kenny. I started the National Lampoon.
What if you say, I was the man who changed comedy forever, but I couldn't change myself?
Really? Blow me.
If we're running our own magazine, we can do anything we want. We can publish knock-knock jokes.
Knock-knock.
Who's that?
Me.
Me who?
Me not doing the magazine.
That can go in issue 1.
It's a total failure. We're selling less than half our print run.
You're not gonna hurt him, right?
No.
What are you doing?
Don't worry, I don't think there's any bullets in there. I got you.
The Mormons are protesting. The feminists hate us. What do we do to the Catholics? Liza Minnelli?
We are being sued by Disney.
Maybe it wasn't such a hot idea to have Minnie Mouse flashing her tits.
She has pasties on.
All right, ready, girls? 3, 2, 1.
Catherine, I'm the woman you're hitting on.
Doug Kenny, Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
We're barely able to put out a magazine.
Don't us barely be able to do something else?
The first National Lampoon movie.
Laser Orgy Girls.
Doug Kenny, Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
One of the writers of Animal House.
Food fight!
You call this success?
Mostly an excuse to party.
You've ruined this company.
I can't come back a failure.
I do care about you, Doug.
Laugh, goddammit!
I need to see someone.
Inside that bungalow, some of the creators of Animal House are working on their next movie, Caddyshack.
And I'm sure it's gonna be just as crazy.
Dog, we need to decide. Is it clear he's jerking his dick off here?
Yeah, because we can make it higher or lower depending on the size of my dog.
These actors don't look exactly like the real people. But come on, do you think I look like Will Forte when I was 27? You think Will Forte is 27?
Let's do this. This is for the magazine, right?
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is
Reverend Steve. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, storyteller, podcaster, amateur cartographer. Amateur in the sense that I don't know what cartography is, so that would make me an amateur.
that is true. Yes, it would.
Not a professional, because if I was a professional, then I would know what cartography is. I imagine that a cartographer is someone who's just really good at carts. Oh, you know what? That's what I would say if I worked at like a supermarket and I was the guy who goes outside and gets all the shopping carts.
Yeah, you're a
cartographer.
Yes, there you go.
I'm a cartographer because I get all the carts together. So that's what a cartographer is. I'm also a father of, at the present moment, 5 children. I say present moment because it's always changing. So, we collect strays. So, and they might be popping in throughout the podcast. This is episode 159.
Yes, it
and,
is.
I'm a little bit jittery today because not only have I drank a large amount of coffee, which is what I do every day pretty much, but also we had a representative come into work a few days ago, a representative from Red Bull.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And they filled our fridge with free drinks, and that's how these drug dealers get you.
Yes,
because the first one or the first fridge full is free. So I had a Red Bull about 45 minutes ago, and now I'm pretty sure that I'm vibrating enough to. I might go through time at some point in time during the podcast. So just be prepared for that. I might just, and then there'll be a trail of fire because I vibrated 88 miles an hour and I'm just in the past or the future or something.
I would go more that you would become invisible, personally.
Yeah. Either way.
You are vibrating so intensely.
Yeah. So, Bunny, I would like, if I may, to start off this very exciting episode of the podcast of the Pope on Film by once again talking about a topic that is very near a topic that is very near and dear to my shit. Hold on, buddy. I'm getting a text message. Hold on a second.
Okay.
So I'm doing this on my phone, and then when I get a text message, let me check this real quick. Where I swear phones are supposed to be all convenient and shit, but really they're just Oh, it's a message from you, Bunny. Okay. Well, what a pleasant surprise, Bunny. Let me just read this real quick. No, I will not send you nudes, Bunny.
Just once. Come on.
Jesus fucking Christ, Bunny.
Be a buddy.
What the hell is up with that, huh? Now I am really uncomfortable, Bunny, working with you. This whole podcast has just been thrown for a loop, and I don't know if I can go on. Well, working with you is just so uncomfortable now. I'm really put in an awkward position here.
It was all a plan. I figured I would get you to do a podcast with me, and then I would wait like 3 years.
It's all a long con. Well, I guess I have no other choice. In this episode of the Pope on Film podcast, Steve joins the Me Too movement. Okay, you know what? Can I just tap out of this bit? Can I do that?
Sure.
Can I just tap out? Okay, I'm tapping out of this bit. I started it and now I'm tapping out. This is me tapping out of the bit. I don't want to get publicly shamed for taking on the Me Too movement. Or I should say, I don't want to get publicly shamed any more than I've already been publicly shamed. Because just as a man, there's a lot of public shaming that happens right now. However, that false start that we just went through taught me a pretty interesting lesson. It is apparently pretty darn easy to write an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The gang joins the Me Too movement. And that's already, just the title alone, that whole episode has written itself.
Yes.
That's how easy it is to write an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Good to know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Good to know. Well, Bunny, it is time once again to dive deep into the world of multiple universes and popular music with yet another installment of America's leading bizarre music rant, Mandela Effect Moments in Popular Music.
Yes.
So for our much requested. So for our new listeners and for the uninitiated out there, the Mandela Effect is the theory that there are alternate universes out there in the ether, a never-ending multiverse where anything that can happen has happened, and the Mandela effect suggests that some people didn't originate in this universe, the universe that we're in right now. In fact, some people came from a slightly different universe, and the way you can tell is by tiny details like when did Nelson Mandela die, or how do you spell the Berenstain Bears, or are Donnie and Marie sisters or lovers, or both, really?
I'm going with both on that one.
Because I swear when I was a kid, I thought that they were a couple. When I was a kid growing up, I thought they were a couple. They were always together. They were always near each other. They were always holding hands and talking about how much they cared for each other and singing songs together. I thought for sure that they were together, that they were knocking boots, knocking smiles. It is my firm belief that I am one of these wayward souls, one of these wayward sisters, someone who is actually from a different dimension, and the proof is in popular American music.
Yes, it is.
So this time around, we will be talking about the band Alice in Chains.
Okay.
Now, call me crazy.
You're crazy.
Thank you. I was waiting. I was going to keep waiting.
As I could tell by the pause.
Thank you. Now call me crazy.
Call me crazy. Okay, you're crazy.
But back in my day, if a lead singer of a band died,
yeah,
the band just broke up.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Now they just replace the lead singer and keep making music like nothing happened. Screw you, Sublime with Rome. No. I'm not having any of your crap.
I personally am going to have to blame Metallica for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the surviving members of the Grateful Dead still tour under different names like Rat Dog. And then, of course, probably the biggest the biggest example of this is when Kurt Cobain died, he was replaced with David Lee Roth.
Yes.
And now the band still releases music, except instead of Nirvana, they're called the Nirvana Smiles Sunshine Band. That's probably the biggest example of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that the lead singer of Alice in Chains, Lane Stanley, died and they replace him and have kept doing albums, and they're successful albums, it just really fucking upsets me. But that is not what we're talking about here, okay?
Okay.
In the 90s, Alice in Chains, they were huge. They had 16 top 10 songs on the Billboard rock charts in the 1990s. Their music was ubiquitous. It was just everywhere. And probably Alice in Chains, along with Nine Inch Nails, they were probably the hardest music that you could also hear at the mall.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about it, you would go to the mall and then you just hear while you're at the mall, you'd hear like all the popular music and all the music that's popular in the day. And sometimes it would just really get me like, wow, look at me. I'm at a major store and they're playing the Jane's Addiction song, Been Caught Stealing. You would think that at some point in time, someone who is the proprietor of this establishment would say, hey, maybe not play this song. That's a song that always confused me. This is so popular. Slide aside, how weird is it that a huge ass hit in the 90s was a song that had the chorus, I wanna fuck you like an animal?
Yes.
Like, that was a huge hit. Mm-hmm. How bizarre is that? You still hear it on the radio, you know? That was a hit song. Like, honestly, if I was like 89 years old and that song became a hit, I would be like, yep, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's all them video games. Mm-hmm. Nintendo did this. MTV. The MTV music television. So Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains couldn't do any wrong in the early 90s. Their second album, which was called Dirt, was released in 1992. It became their highest selling album yet. And from that album, they got 5 top 30 hit songs.
5. Okay.
That's a surprising number. Like, I thought that Alice in Chains maybe had like 2 or 3 hits, but they had 5 just from this one album. That album stayed on the radio charts for over 2 years.
Which
and that's
song
surprising.
is that?
Well, they had 5 singles from that album.
Yeah.
The singles from Dirt, which I will now be singing to you, include the songs Angry Chair. Of course, everybody knows the song Angry Chair. Oh no, look out for that chair. It looks really upset. Watch out, it is really pissed off. That is an angry chair. Angry chair, angry. It's an angry chair. Angry chair, angry. That played all the time on the radio. Then there's the Alice in Chains song "Down in a Hole."
Yeah.
Oh well, me and my pappy, we're gonna go down in a hole. That was kind of like a country song. Oh, me and my pappy, we're gonna go down in a hole. That was a cute one.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah. Then there's their hit single "Would," and that one was really cool. I remember that one. If I asked you nicely, would you let me lick your butthole? That was a huge one. That changed my life.
Yeah.
Then there was their song "Them Bones." That one, of course, I remember. Them bones, them dry bones. Now they're the working of the Lord. That one was adorable.
Yeah.
And then their 5th single is called "Rooster."
Rooster. Okay.
Rooster. And no offense to any veterans out there, this is one of the strangest and stupidest hit songs ever recorded, because nowhere in the song does it explain the meaning of the song. I had to Wikipedia this. I looked up the song, and apparently the lead guitarist's dad was in Vietnam, and his nickname was the Rooster. But here's the thing. They didn't have Wikipedia in 1992, okay? They didn't have freaking Wikipedia in 1992. Google wasn't really a thing in 1992. So taken literally, this song is about a farm animal with a machine gun.
Yes.
Or a cock. But the chorus goes, "Hey, they've come to snuff the rooster." What is this about? Like a serial killer who's trying to murder penises?
I didn't say penises.
Oh, okay.
Rooster is also considered cock. Or you want to take it another step further, you can go that route with penises and then cock, dick, Richard. Maybe they're talking about some guy named Richard.
Maybe they've come to snuff the former president. Possibly.
They've come to snuff the Richard?
Yeah, they've come to snuff the Richard. The way that
you know what? You say they didn't have Wikipedia or Google or whatever in 92. Okay, first of all, I'm pretty sure they had Ask Jeeves. And second of all, you act like people were all about deciphering lyrics before. Like, hello, did you automatically back in the 60s go and like fucking decipher all those lyrics? No, you didn't. You didn't question it. You took it for what it was. You interpreted it the way you wanted to.
Okay, I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Like, think of all the Pink Floyd songs.
Yeah.
Like, that would drive somebody crazy if they had to know what it meant.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention to the lyrics or what they meant. You just heard it and you interpreted it your own way. So.
But it really wasn't hard to figure out if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the. It's pretty
Yes.
obvious.
So everyone heard.
It's not obvious because how many people absolutely loved that song and thought it was a love song?
It
wasn't a love song.
I think we all knew that they were fucking around on each other.
No,
with
a lot
each
of
other.
people didn't.
Like Emerald was blown away when I said, listen to the lyrics, really pay attention to the lyrics of the song, because oh my god, I love this song. I was like, all right, really listen to the lyrics though. And then Emerald was like, oh my god. I was like, yeah, it's about a cheating asshole.
Yeah. It's like my co-teacher loved the song Me and Mrs. Jones. Hello, Natalie. It's about people cheating. She went, what? Yeah. And then we started singing it like Mike Tyson.
And it's yeah, because you need
Me and Mrs.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones. So we can make fun of it.
So people don't know what
Get
lyrics.
back to your notes, Steve.
Yeah, people don't know what lyrics mean, and people.
Do you hear her?
Yeah, Natasha and I are acting out a zombie film right now in the sense that her and I are in the bedroom, and the baby is just banging on the door, screaming. I'm pretty sure I just heard her yell "brains." Yeah.
Here's my machete. I'll take her out.
Yeah, she is.
To the ball.
She's trying so hard to get in here. So I feel that this Alice in Chains song called Rooster is a prime example of mass hysteria.
Okay.
Like very few people actually, a very small amount of people got seizures from a Pokemon episode. But then
I don't know. I don't have the data on that at all.
But then suddenly like thousands of people claim to have gotten seizures from an episode of Pokemon, and that was all bullshit. And so everyone heard a popular rock song with a chorus that goes like this: "Here they come to snuff the rooster.
Mm-hmm.
Here they come, the rooster. You know he ain't gonna die. No, no, no. You know he ain't gonna die. Ah, yeah, the rooster." And everyone heard this song and just went, "Oh yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, that's cool."
Yeah,
it's mass hysteria because no one knew that the rooster was about the lead guitarist's dad, but everyone wanted to act like they were cool and hip and with it. So here's the new song by hitmakers Alice in Chains. It's called The Rooster. Now the accurate response is to go, okay. Yeah, all right. But no, America all decided to collectively pretend to get it.
Yes.
The chorus again, yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. I'm sorry, but that's stupid. Yeah. In my universe, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here comes the rooster. Now, this is the Mandela effect because the song is ridiculous, and it's ridiculous that everyone collectively pretends to understand the rooster. Yes. It upsets me. Deeply upsets me. The rooster starts playing on the radio, and everyone's like, yeah, the rooster. Oh, I love the rooster. Yeah, man, the rooster.
I never heard of it.
If you heard the song, then you would probably realize it. Because, again, all of these Alice in Chains songs were just ubiquitous back then. They played all the time.
Not in my house.
Everywhere. Everywhere. Played all the time. It is 4:00. Now time to listen to the rooster. And then they would play it on the speakers as you got whipped. So that's the Mandela effect this week. It upsets me. The song came on the radio.
Yes.
Last week. And I'm just hearing people listen to looking at people listening to the song, and they're like nodding their heads, and they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "No, that's the wrong response.
No idea what this song is.
You're all wrong." Boo. So that's the end of the Mandela effect. I've been doing something lately, really proud of this. Over the last year, I've been saving articles by Republicans about what's going to happen in 2018.
Okay, that should be very interesting.
Pastor Rich Vera of the Center for Revival and Healing says that Donald Trump will be releasing the cure for Alzheimer's.
Okay.
So that's awesome. Let's
releasing or receiving?
Releasing it.
Okay.
Carl
receiving it. That I could see.
Right-wing pastor Carl Gallups says that in 2018, finally Trump will expose Obama's phony birth certificate. That's happening in 2018. Let's see what else. Where's my favorite one? Oh, Mark Taylor. We've talked about him before. He's the firefighter prophet.
Yes.
Trump will be releasing the cure for cancer and Alzheimer's in 2018. So we got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's the fact that the storm is going to be happening.
Yeah, we talked about the storm.
And everybody's going to start getting arrested because they are satanic child molesting people. Yeah, I was wondering if we were due for something, because the internet's been crazy slow all day.
They wouldn't slow us down like this after 2 days.
Yeah, well, I figured the internet has been slowing down, so just to be safe, I drank a Red Bull right before the podcast. If I'm talking super fast, the internet will slow it down so that I'm manageable to hear. Oh, the baby got in.
Hi.
Yeah. That's Bunny and Jeannie. Say hi. Yes? Mama's what?
Mama.
What about Mama? Say hi to Bunny.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, baby.
No, she's saying Bunny. That's her Bunny. Say Bunny.
Hi.
Bye.
Say Jeannie.
Oh,
Can you say Jeannie?
bye, Baba.
Yeah, I know Bunny's on the phone.
Can you say Jeannie?
Can you say Jeannie?
Oh, she tried. Yeah, Geenie. You're apparently Geenie. So that's Bai and Geenie. Those are the two. Bai, Geenie.
Why?
Bunny, this is going to be a slightly awkward thing, especially with the baby right here, goo goo gaga next to us. But I'm gonna soldier on.
Okay.
No, Bunny, let's talk about porn.
Okay.
No, I'm a big fan, Bunny. Bunny, who are some of your favorite porn actresses?
I don't particularly keep up with a lot of the actresses. Siri, I like a lot.
Siri, yes, you've talked about her before. I'm a big fan of Bridget the Midget.
Bridget the Midget.
We've talked about her before. One of my favorite porn actresses gained popularity at the turn of the century. So 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001. She occasionally went by the name Anne Howe, but she also went under the name Melissa Ashley. Her name is actually Melissa Burst.
Okay.
So she changed it to Melissa Ashley. Her mom was apparently a big porn actress in porn movies in the 1970s.
So it's a family thing.
Yeah, so it's a family dynasty.
Business, yeah.
Yeah, Melissa Ashley gained prominence due to the fact that even now, this woman is 39 years old and she still looks 19. It's real freaky.
Really? Okay.
It's really freaky how even now to this day, how young this 39-year-old looks. In fact, a Bing search, because fuck Google, a Bing search brought up the fact that apparently numerous times she has gone to court on behalf of men who were facing child pornography charges because police saw pictures of Melissa Ashley and went, "Oh, she has to be underage. Sir, you're being arrested for child pornography." And so she has in the past gone to court for these men and be like, "Yeah, no, I'm like a 30-year-old person." So that's kind of a funny story. Melissa Ashley is the star of such Academy Award-winning movies as Pop My Cherry, Knee Pad Nymphos, and of course, the Asshole Andy series. as well as, this is my favorite, the 2003 film that's simply titled It's Just Wrong.
Oh.
She has one video that's really hot if you put it on mute. There's this weird, this is an actual video that she has, and Amber has come in, and I'm just continuing with the story because I'm in the middle of a story. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a story, and I'm just going to continue. You like gay porn?
Me
it's
or?
Nice. No. I'm talking to Amber and Natasha now. It's nice to know that you guys like gay porn because there's so many men out there that just love like lesbian porn. Like that's a huge thing. So it's nice to know that there are women out there who like to guys. You know? That's kind of cool. So there's a video and it's Melissa Ashley and she's in the bath, right?
Yeah.
She's in the bath and then there's a rubber duck there.
Okay.
There's a rubber duck and then the rubber duck comes to life and starts having sex with her.
Okay.
It's a really weird video, but it's really hot. I had seen it a couple of times on mute, and I thought it was a really hot scene. And then one day I decided to unmute it, and apparently throughout the entire video, the man duck is saying quack, quack, quack as he's doing her.
Yeah, that's... Well, he's dedicated to his craft.
Yeah. It's got to be difficult to have sex with someone in the bath while wearing a plastic duck mask. That's got to be difficult. I mean, I've only done it once, so...
Well, I think more research in the area is needed.
Yeah, probably. Well, about a year or two ago, I was bored and I decided to try and find Melissa Ashley on Facebook, which I did easily. And oh my God, Bunny, time has not been good to this woman. Time has not been great to her. Don't get me wrong. She looks like she hasn't aged a freaking day.
Yeah.
She still looks like an 18-year-old, and it's freaking ridiculous. She is still freaking gorgeous, but the last few couple of years, she's had seizures and heart problems. She had to get a pacemaker.
Really?
She's gone chemotherapy. She has kidney issues, and it's so sad, Bunny, because these porn actresses, these porn models, Bunny, there's no sick pay for these people.
No.
There's no health plan. There's nothing. There's nothing at all. They have to pay for everything themselves, and it's difficult, and it sucks.
Yes.
So she's been in and out of hospitals and in and out of the emergency rooms.
We should start a charity.
She recently had to spend 5 consecutive weeks in the emergency room, racking up bills she couldn't afford. And this past time, which was 5 consecutive weeks, she spent so much time in that emergency room, she lost her apartment. And she was forced to move back in with her father, sleeping in like this tiny little bedroom of an apartment somewhere. It's sad. It's all so sad. So, and it's fucked up the way that we treat porn actresses in America. It's also sad that, as far as I can tell with social media, one thing I've learned being on Facebook so much, apparently the primary method of health insurance that people are using is GoFundMe accounts designed to make me feel like shit.
Yes.
I thought that a lot of people would be on this type of health plan or this type of health insurance, or I don't know, Blue Cross or Sigma or something like that, or Obamacare or fucking Trump care. I don't know. But apparently the main thing that people are doing for healthcare is just setting up GoFundMe pages and putting them on my feed to make me feel like shit.
Yes.
So long story short, please donate to Melissa Ashley's GoFundMe account for her health issues. The website is gofundme.com/Melissa Ashley's medical expenses. If you've ever masturbated to Melissa Ashley, then God damn it, you owe her one.
You need to give back.
Give back to this woman who has given so much to us. So much to us. Also, it's ridiculous that there's this stigma about porn. And it's so weird because so many people are against porn.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Yes.
No?
Good point.
Yeah, there's just so many people that say, oh, I hate porn. Okay, now I'm alone. Time to watch porn. Ridiculous. I just feel that we should just be more open and honest about this. I loved Melissa Ashley growing up, because right about the time that I was getting older and going to college was right about the time Melissa Ashley got popular, and oh my God, I loved her. Tom and I loved her. We loved freaking Melissa Ashley. She's now living with her dad in a small apartment somewhere in Phoenix. Poor girl. And it's just sad, her in and out of freaking hospitals.
Yeah.
I tried to look up more about her health issues, and I saw some guy saying, well, hey, that's what you get for partying so much when you were younger. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That was some website I saw. No, fuck you, sir. Melissa Ashley is a goddamn treasure. Love that woman, it's just sad the way that these porn actresses are become so popular and then are just kind of scattered to the wayside.
Yeah.
Cough cough, Jenna Jameson, cough cough.
Yes.
I saw her recently, and she looked like a robotic version of Jenna Jameson.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, hey, you had a New York Times best-selling book. What happened? That was weird. Weird to see her now. Anyway, Bunny, we still have a lot to talk about here. We still have so much to talk about. Speaking of, I have these. I've been saving all these bookmarks of all these things that I wanted to mention, but that I just never got around to working into the podcast, so I'm just going to go through some bookmarks on my Firefox here. Mel Gibson is bringing back The Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
He is now official. They were interviewing what's his name, Jim Caviezel, freaking Superman. They were interviewing Superman, and he was talking about how The Passion of the Christ 2 will be the biggest movie in the history of Hollywood. And it's like, dude, I cannot believe that Mel Gibson is doing this, because that was such a cheap Family Guy joke like a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
The Passion of the Christ 2. Get it, guys? That's a stupid joke, because no way anyone would ever make that. And now he is, and it's ridiculous. Freaking Passion of the Christ 2. Can you believe this shit? That's where we are.
Yeah, I'm totally going to have to agree with that.
Freaking ridiculous.
We didn't even need the first one, really.
Yeah. And then I found a website. It might be interesting. I thought maybe we could do it, but I don't want to do it now. But I found a movie called Die, Spy, Kill, Kill. Did you hear about this?
Sounds a little familiar. I'm not sure, though. What?
A website, a group called Team Spiral got every single solitary James Bond movie and turned them into one film.
Okay.
Called Die, Spy, Kill, Kill. And it brought 6 different Bonds from Sean Connery to Daniel Craig together, and they're trying to kill each other. Even the color James Bonds, they black and whited those, and it's all about these different James Bonds that are all trying to kill each other.
Nice. I could be down with that.
Yeah, so like I was excited about that, and I'm like, okay, let me bookmark this. I read about it like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, eventually I'm going to bring this up. And so I waited, and then I thought, oh, maybe we could do this as the next film, because it's available for free on the people who created it. What are they called again? Team Spiral. Maybe we can do that. So I went to the Team Spiral website, and apparently a day or two ago they shut it all down.
Oh.
So I'm assuming that finally whoever owns James Bond now finally decided to like put their foot down.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to search to see if I can find Die, Spy, Kill, Kill, because that seems like a really interesting experiment in film editing.
Yes.
You know, I'd be interested to see that.
I would too. I would too.
Yeah. Because I'm interested in the James Bond series, but goddamn, there's just too many at this point. There's just way too many of these goddamn movies for you to be able to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to watch this series.
Yeah.
There's also very few continuity to be able to turn that into a coherent thing, you know? Ridiculous. Anyway, before we even get to it, what did you think? Just like a little smattering.
Yeah.
What did you think about this week's movie? Because I really liked it.
I liked it a lot. And I'm like, why don't we fucking know this guy?
Yeah, so then I really, really liked it. So then I went to read reviews, and people hate this fucking movie.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Why?
I mentioned it in the actual discussion of the film. Yeah, it currently has a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, what are you talking about? I really like this film.
Yeah.
I really, really like this film. In fact, I was nervous when I was first watching it, because I'm like, oh my God, this is like 2 really good movies in a row. We might have to watch shit now.
Yeah.
just to kind of even the playing field.
Balance.
Yeah. But good. I'm glad that you liked it because I liked this movie too. I wasn't sure. Like I was like, oh, Bunny's really gonna like this film. And then I went to read the reviews and everybody fucking hates this movie. And I'm like, okay, now I'm kind of panicking. I hope Bunny liked it because I really liked it.
I liked it. I liked it a whole lot.
Oh, there was something I was going to mention in I didn't write this into the podcast during our discussion of this week's film, so I'll mention it now.
Yeah.
So like a futile and stupid gesture smattering. I never saw Mad Men. Did you ever see Mad Men?
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Well, apparently, one of the characters in Mad Men. Like somebody was watching a futile and stupid gesture and they said, hey, this one party scene in LA, that guy who's sitting on the couch doing cocaine kind of looks like this Mad Men character. But that's ridiculous. There's no way that a character from the show Mad Men would end up on this Netflix comedy about the National Lampoon. But then someone took a picture of that character and then they put it online and everyone said, oh yeah, that does look like that character. So then people poured through the credits and sure enough, an actor is credited as playing a character from Mad Men. So for no real reason whatsoever, a character from the show Mad Men now doing cocaine with the creators of National Lampoon. Really weird. I guess there's a Mad Men cinematic universe now?
I don't know. There's a possibility. Everything's a cinematic universe, so I really wouldn't be surprised.
Everything's a cinematic universe now.
Yes.
That's absolutely right. Natasha's a cinematic universe. Blockbuster.
And some of the characters, man, they nailed some of these fucking people. All I know him as is Mr. Mike.
Yeah.
But I immediately fucking recognized him.
What, Chris O'Donoghue? Is that the one?
I don't know who played him.
The guy who was really pissed off because they were going to take his bomb.
Yes.
That's Thomas Lennon. He was the police captain in Reno 911, and he was the host of Viva Variety, and he was the geeky friend in 17 again. Zac Efron. He was really good in that, and he was in The State. And I absolutely love him. He nailed it. It gave me a very Fear and Loathing vibe.
Yes. Yeah,
In fact,
he had a very Hunter S. Thompson way about him.
Yeah, I really liked him, and I liked his thing with Natasha Lyonne, the only woman who broke in.
Yeah.
I really just liked all of that. Oh my God, somebody let Chris O'Donoghue be live on television? Oh, don't worry. This isn't going to be popular. It's on at midnight on Saturdays. Who's going to watch this? Yeah, no, I really liked this movie. So I'm happy to get into the discussion of that. Also, when we get to the actual discussion of this week's movie, I experimented.
Okay.
I felt that if we were going to be talking about the creation of the National Lampoon, I owed it to the National Lampoon to do something different with the discussion of the National Lampoon. So, we get to a few weird places.
Good. Weird places are good.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So we still have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about... Huh? Oh, I hung up.
No.
I have a hard time getting my big black clown shoes inside those tiny little pockets. So they're in the box on top of the dresser. We have to talk about burritos. We have to talk about the For Dummies series of books. We have to talk about super salads.
Okay.
As in the restaurant, not salads that make you super.
Oh.
We have to talk about Harriet Tubman and conspiracy theories and Carrot Top. Unfortunately, we have to talk about that goddamn Will Smith racist movie again. I talk a little bit more than I expected to about Fabio. Wrote a lot about Fabio here. I wasn't expecting to write so much about Fabio, but when you start writing about Fabio, you just can't stop writing about Fabio.
It's very hard. It's very hard because he is such a unique person. Like, why is he fucking famous? It does not really make sense that he should be famous.
Yeah, it's weird. So we still have a lot to talk about, but before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break? Maybe. I don't know. I'm torn.
We should take a break.
We should take a break. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Commercial messages. I have a hard time pronouncing that. There's just a lot of shuz in there.
Yes.
No. A lot of shying. Do 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 do. Mommy gave me the plate, and she decided that I needed like 30 pieces of pizza. I don't know why. That's just what she decided. Do 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 do. Maxwell, I'm having a hard time scatting. Can you help me scat? Come here though, because the recording is right here.
Get that dude.
You know, when you have your shirt off and you're just wearing those like black pants and no shirt, you look a lot like Bruce Lee. Especially with your hair, the way your hair is. You do like a karate chop, but when you do the karate chop, this is the key to doing a Bruce Lee impersonation, Maxwell. You have to act like every karate move you do hurts you and you're screaming in pain.
Yes.
That's the Bruce Lee style. So it's not just hi-ya, it's more, yeah, exactly, except louder. So try it, Maxwell.
Hi-ya.
Good, but more of like it hurts you and you're kind of screaming.
Hi-ya.
More of like a like that. See, that's a good Bruce Lee. I'll get you some nunchucks and 100 bad guys to beat in a hallway.
Yes.
I'll also get you a family curse. Do you want a family curse? I'll get you a family curse.
I'll just stand there going,
Yeah. Bunny's got his part. What?
What time is it?
It's muffin time.
No, actually,
It's muffin time. Actually, it's 12:30. Somebody kill me. It's 6:21. It's not time for Supernatural yet. Jesus, you got time, girl.
And they didn't even have to mention, and they did not mention, but as soon as he was on screen, you were like, fuck, that's John Landis.
Yeah. I was really impressed with Joe McHale.
Which one's he?
As Chevy Chase.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At first, when they announced that Joe McHale was going to be Chevy Chase, I said, okay, it makes sense poetically because Joe McHale was on a TV show with Chevy Chase. So it makes sense that Joe McHale would play Chevy Chase, but also Joe McHale is really super talented and funny and cocky and handsome, and Chevy Chase is Chevy Chase, and so I just don't see it. But then watching the film, I'm like, oh yeah, wait a second. Back then, Chevy Chase was handsome and cocky as shit. Oh no, this fits perfectly. Because he's playing asshole Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
He's playing 1977, 1978, 1979. I think I'm the God's gift to women Chevy Chase.
Yeah. The I am really popular on one season of SNL, therefore I am going to quit.
Yeah.
To further my career.
Yeah. So Joe McHale is perfect as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like that movie. I didn't think that the Bill Murray was a good Bill Murray at all until he did The Lounge Singer, and I'm like, oh wait, no, this is good. This is really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't until he did the lounge singer with Paul Schaefer at the golf course that I'm like, okay, now I see it.
Yeah,
Now
and
I
exactly that. They never said he was Paul Schaefer, but he's immediately recognizable as Paul Schaefer.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we will be back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. That was good. That was good. That was better, Maxwell.
Here was a brave little soldier. When we were all playing together, we used to play he was really brave, like he was just charging the enemy out of desperation with his bayonet. But when we were alone, we knew he was surrendering.
Go here, boop, podcast.
Destroy you! All of you! You kids will be my instrument! Yikes! Apes is more like it.
We've got to get out of here.
I don't believe it! Yes, you can believe it.
And now on NBC Saturday Night at the Movies, Kiss meets the Phantom.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film. Well then, Bunny, let's talk about books. You see, people always say, hey, Steve, how have you and Natasha, your wife, how have you two been stayed married for as long as you two have? To which I say, shh, shut the fuck up. Don't remind her that she is still married to me. Don't give Natasha any ideas. Just ixnay on the arid May. People also say, hey, write what you know. And what I know is that if the Netflix movie Bright, if Bright was real life,
yes,
then every 80s stand-up comedian would sound like this. You ever notice how humans be walking like this? But then elves, they be walking like this. And why are orcs always eating burritos? And what I also know is that I have been a loyal and hyper inactive employee at my local bookstore. FYI, hyper inactive. Verbal copyright 2008, the Pope on Film, 2018, the Pope on Film podcast. All rights rightfully reserved. For over 17 years now.
Yes.
If my career were a person, then I would be in that awkward, panicky year between Sweet Little 16 and I don't have to listen to you. that awkward period. It's a transitional time.
Yeah.
I'm Sweet 16. I want all of this, and I love you, Daddy. And then there's, I'm gonna go smoke some pot and give hand jobs. You can't hold me back, you son of a bitch. It's a transitional time. And
so Emerald's going with the hand jobs?
I don't. Emerald is an enigma.
Okay.
She is an enigma. So she's a wonderful woman, and that's about all I know. And as such, I really do have my skeletal fingers on the pulse of the book world, and I am here to rub my skeletal fingers across your chest with this week's educationally uneducated installment of Notes from the Bookstore.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good, because I had written in here, give me some dramatic music, Bunny. But you, because we have this psychic bond,
yes,
you and I, you knew that that's what I was going for, and you just went for it. Nothing but net. I am speaking of nothing but net, speaking of vague sports generalities, I realized today that the Super Bowl was coming up.
Okay, is it? All right.
Yeah. In a few days. And I'm like, wow, I am not a good dude. You know?
Yeah.
I am really not going to get my bro license this year. I've only ever, not only do I not even know when the Super Bowl's coming up, but like I've only ever seen one Transformer movie.
Ah, yeah.
And that's
I saw part of one, and that's all it took for me.
Yeah, that's another example of my bro license being going to be revoked. I don't know the band The Chainsmokers. So yeah, I'm not a good bro. And this week's Notes from the Bookstore is brought to you by the all-new For Dummies series of books. Because, Bunny,
yes,
the For Dummies series has been around since the first book, DOS for Dummies, was published in 1991. And that was a long time ago.
No, I think we got to go back further on the dummy books, but you're the pro here.
Yeah, I looked it up. DOS for Dummies, 1991. There's also the Idiot's Guide. I think the Idiot's Guide might actually be older than the For Dummies series. But people have changed, Bunny. Society has changed.
Yes.
People have moved on. So be sure and buy the first book in the all-new For Dummies series entitled Beginner's Chess for Clueless Shitheads. Talk about #progress, am I right?
Yeah.
Huh? There's also a brand new series of political titles. There's two so far. There's Trumpism for Cucks.
Okay.
And then there's How to be a Decent Human Being for Right-Wing Christian Assholes.
Yes.
So really excited.
Thank God they finally got a book. Because really.
Yeah.
Christians. Yeah.
So persecuted. Now, an episode or two ago, or 4 or 42, who can tell time anymore in Trump's America?
Yeah.
We're all in a bizarre time warp.
Hoping for escape.
Yeah. But an unknown amount of time ago, we did an in memoriam for all of the people, places, and things that we lost in 2017, like Mary Tyler Moore, AOL Instant Messenger, and Decorum. Mm-hmm. Things that we lost in 2017. Well, I would like to do a different sort of in memoriam, but this time around, we are going to in memoriam all of the businesses that are or were or are going to be leaving the area near my bookstore.
Okay.
all of the businesses that were around my bookstore that are now long gone. The neighborhood that my work is in, it used to be the cool place for businesses to be.
Yeah.
But now it's slowly bleeding businesses. Now the cool place for a business to be is about 4 or 5 miles away. It's that area, that shopping area with the Super Target and the Five Guys restaurant. That place is exploding with business, and unfortunately, that means that my area is imploding with business.
Yes.
So let's take a fond look back at all of the businesses we've lost. First off, Pro Cuts Hair Salon.
Okay.
I guess it's, I don't know, more of a professional Supercuts. I don't know. It was basically just a Supercuts, but with the word pro. I got my hair cut there once. I had really long hair. It was maybe about a year and a half into my time working at the Oklahoma location. And my hair had just gotten too long and it started to annoy me. So I went to the haircut place and I wanted it all chopped off. And the really nice gay guy who cut my hair kept giving me outs because he liked my hair so much.
Okay.
That he's like, you want to get your hair cut? Your hair? Are you sure? Are you sure though? Okay. I mean, if you're sure, okay. Because once I cut it, that's it. If that's what you want to do with your hair, and I'm like, okay, okay. I'm really susceptible to counter programming. So the more outs you give me, the more I am angrily going to demand you cut my hair.
Yeah.
So, like, it just doesn't work that way with me.
Holy shit! This child is possessed.
Oh, are you talking about Eleanor, or are you going to show me something on the computer?
I'm talking to Eleanor.
Okay.
I am going to show you something.
Okay, what are you going to show me? I'm doing an in memoriam for all of the businesses that are no longer around my work.
Thayer asked me. Thayer's asexual and doesn't understand this, but apparently people find this action incredibly hot. I can't explain it.
Okay.
I cannot explain it. The only thing I can think is that it's because it's Dean, or
it's because
maybe
he's bending down over the pool table, and the way that he moves his hands, it's like he's bracing for impact. It's like he's about to get. It's like Dean's about to get banged.
I saw
and also the way that his
the other way, like,
and also the
somebody
way
would think that they were the balls, basically.
No, and also the way that his wrists are together. It seems like he's like I don't know, like he's getting handcuffed or someone's tying him together, but it definitely looks like he's about to take something.
Oh.
Do I find that hot? No.
Okay. See, we're taking a poll.
But I can see how someone would find that hot.
See how someone would. Okay.
Yeah.
Out. Let's go.
So rest in peace, Pro Cuts. Pro Cuts is gone. Here's another business that is gone. That was by my work. That is no longer there. Marble Slab Creamery. Okay, guys.
Slab Creamery.
Okay, guys. I have a great business idea. Okay, it is new and original, and you guys are gonna like it. Okay, so you know Cold Stone Creamery? Okay, so here's my original idea. Let's just do that. What should we call it? I don't know. Just say Marble Slab Creamery. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we're just going to Cold Stone it, okay? That's my new original idea. It's not McDonald's. It's McDougal's.
Yes.
It's a totally original idea.
We have the golden arc.
Yeah. So, rest in peace, Marble Slab Creamery. You're no longer there. Here's another business that is gone. A1 Formal Rental. It was like a tuxedo, fancy dress rental place. And you can tell that a business has been there for a long time when they are named in a way so that they will be the first name listed in the yellow pages.
Yes.
Like I used to go to a comic book store called AAA, All About Books and Comics.
Yeah.
And that's how it was named, AAA, All About Books and Comics. And it took me a while to realize, like, oh, wait a second. This is AA Auto Repair. Why is this A1 Formal Rental? That's confusing. Okay, you don't need to be named that anymore.
No.
It's weird. So when it comes to A1 Formal Rental, let's talk about tornadoes.
Okay.
Okay. There are levels of tornado warnings that they give. The weather's kind of getting bad. So then there's like a tornado watch, which is, hey guys, a tornado could happen. It probably won't, but still just be aware of tornadic activity.
Tornadic activity.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. A possibility for tornadic activity in the area, so be aware of that. That's a tornado watch. Just watch for them. And then a tornado warning is, okay, guys, it seriously looks like it could happen. Still probably won't, but have a heightened level of preparedness. Maybe make sure you have a shelter or know where a shelter is nearby, because there's a very high chance for tornadic activity, guys.
Tornadic activity.
And then there's the sirens. And it took me a while to be comfortable with the sirens, because it took a number of siren attempts to realize that just because the sirens go off does not mean the sirens are not 100% accurate. Because I've dealt with the sirens going off like about 4 or 5 times in my 6 years in Oklahoma, and I've never been in a tornado, but I've been in the sirens a number of times. The first time I had to deal with a siren, I was at work, and one thing I have learned about living in Oklahoma is that the state pastime for Okies is storm watching.
Okay.
Like when a big, massive storm hits, or when the tornado sirens go off, 50% of the people panic and look for shelter, and the other 50% get out fucking lawn chairs. And every time there's an actual tornado touching down, there's always accidents. And the accidents happen because these professional storm chasers go out to chase the storm. And oh, wait, there's 5 guys in pickup trucks also chasing it. And those are the amateur storm chasers. That's Billy Bob and Bubba who, get a hankering in their craw every time a big storm's coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was at work, and the storm was really bad. And the storm was so bad, and this was maybe about 6 or 7 months into me living in Oklahoma. The storms were so bad that everybody at work was just against the windows looking at the storm.
Okay.
It was raining really bad. It was coming down really bad. And it was around April or May. So it was
kind of like Dean about to get it, right?
Yeah. So it was round about prom time. And so the storm is really bad, and like the lightning was so bad that the windows would just rattle every time there was thunder and lightning. So I'm trying to shelve and trying to be at work and trying to not panic. And so I decide, you know what, everybody else is doing it. I'm going to go over to the windows and start looking at the windows with everybody else. And everybody's just standing there looking out the windows. And then the sirens hit. Now, the good news is that our specific store, our bathrooms are fortified steel that should survive a tornado.
Yes.
So essentially, our men's and women's bathroom are a tornado shelter. And so now I've become so comfortable in Oklahoma and around tornadic activity with finger quotes that now when the storms start hitting, I'm really good at comforting college students.
Uh-huh. See, I don't know. I kind of feel like you're used to whatever your area's weird ass weather pattern is. You know?
Yeah.
So growing up mostly on Long Island, we had hurricanes, and hurricane season was a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
You know? So because of that, I don't give much of a shit about hurricanes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I know what's going on. The eye of the storm is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But like an earthquake would terrify me.
Oh God, yeah, no, I've been in a number of earthquakes. Those aren't good.
I think I would be okay with a tornado because it's kind of a hurricane. I'm not sure though. You know?
I've never been in one either, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I've been near them, but I've never been in one.
Yeah.
So I'm just worried because so far this December and January and looks like this February, we haven't gotten snow. It's been hot. Yesterday it was like 73 degrees and sunny. It looks like this time last year I was dealing with ice and sleet and nasty roads and hydroplaning and floods, and it was just horrible. And just this year it's just all been hot, and it looks like I might be able to get to spring without any nasty winter weather. But now I'm just worried that, if it's going to be hotter, then probably the tornado season is going to be like 4 times worse. If I'm not getting snow and ice,
yeah,
then I'm worried that like my March, April, and May and June are just going to be filled with freaking tornadoes, and I'm not excited about that. But
I would not be excited about that either.
Yeah. So I'm at work and I'm looking through the windows at the storm, and then the tornado siren hits, and everyone starts panicking, but I can't stop looking out of the windows because what I see, and I'm not that scared. The sirens go off and I'm like, okay, well, I've been prepared for this. People have told me what to do. I just need to go to the bathrooms and wait it out there with the customers, make sure the customers are calm, and we should be fine, right? But then as I'm thinking this in my head, I see a group of 9 teens run panicked and screaming out of A1 Formal Rental. Mostly girls, and they're screaming that high-pitched scream that you hear girls do when they're riding a roller coaster.
Yeah.
That like ear-piercing, glass-breaking, I'm waiting in line for Splash Mountain scream.
Yes, I am familiar with this scream. Yes,
yeah.
Horrible.
So I see these people running out of A1 Formal Rental, running towards our store. And here's the thing that I remembered. One woman was wearing sandals, and one of her shoes flew off. And she kept running. And one of her friends yelled, "Crystal, you left your shoe." And she said, "Forget the fucking shoe. We're gonna die."
Okay, yeah.
It was that panicked me. I was totally calm until Crystal decided that fuck her shoes. So she's running like with just one shoe through a storm.
Yeah.
You know? And then when the storm passes, you got to go through it, and it's still raining, but you got to go through looking for your freaking shoe in the rain. Like that's some weird shit there.
Now, were they heading for the Barnes and Noble?
They were heading towards our store because of our bathrooms.
Oh, because of your bathrooms. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like they must be smart. They have books.
Yeah. Yeah, no. We got to go to their tornado section and figure out what to do. Hurry, 5 tornadoes for dummies. So A1 formal rental is gone, and that's sad because every time a tornado hits, I just picture a college girl with one shoe panicking. So now A1 formal rental is gone. Super Salad is another store that was by my work that is not there. I never went to this location, but I've been to other Super Salads, so I believe that I can say, boo! You suck! There was one that was by my work in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Natasha loved it, so we would go there all the time, despite my objections, because I never liked Super Salad. Hey, I've got an idea for a restaurant. You know all those things that people love to eat? Let's not carry any of them. Just carry soup, salad, and various. Doesn't that sound great? Should we carry burgers? None! What about steak? Nothing! We're not a buffet. We're just a buffet for soup and salad. But she would always have to go to the Super Salad. So we would go to the Super Salad, and I would get my Steve salad.
Uh-huh.
My family was well aware of my Steve salad. Let me break down a Steve salad for you, okay?
Yeah.
First off, a small amount of salad.
Okay.
No olives, because olives are edible buttholes. That's what olives are. I hate olives. And then, like when I was like in my late 20s, I got like one of those tests where they test you to see if you're allergic to anything.
Yeah.
And apparently, I'm allergic to olives. And then, like a Princess Leia being told that Luke is her brother. Like, oh, Steve, did you know you're allergic to olives? Somehow I've always known. That's how much I hated them already.
Yeah.
So when I learned I was allergic to them, I'm like, yeah, see, that works. In fact, I don't think that I was allergic to them. I just think that my hatred for them was so strong.
Yeah.
That
It
caused
made your
my
body fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, within the last 2 or 3 years, my wife finally, after almost, I don't know, however long we've been together, 15 years, 16 years together, has finally stopped getting pizza with olives.
Okay.
It was like a decade long fight to get her to not order olives every time. What? You don't like olives? Yeah. Since when? Since every time you get freaking pizza, woman. So finally she stopped. So small amount of salad, no olives because they're edible buttholes. Then you get a crap ton of croutons.
Okay.
So many croutons, a ridiculous amount of croutons. And then here's the really important part to a Steve salad. As much ranch and bacon bits as you can get away with. If there is no one who is looking at you, you just keep on going until there's none left.
Yeah.
Just all the ranch and all of the bacon bits, especially the bacon bits, because that's the good bit of food.
Mm-hmm.
You can add to this. So I would get my Steve salad. I would finish that. And then while everyone else is going for like their second and thirds of soup and salad, I'm like, okay, I will see you bitches at the ice cream bar. Steve, you're not going to get anything else? What am I going to get? It's a super salad. I've had my salad. I will be spending the rest of this time at the ice cream bar. I will see you later. So that was always my super salad experience.
Uh-huh.
I see you bitches at the ice cream station.
I have not been to one. We have one. We have one on Garden of the Gods, or at least we used to. Never been there. Never been there. You know, if I'm going out to eat, like super salad is just not what I'm thinking. You know?
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
any place I'm going will have soup and salad.
Like, I would go to a super salad, but I just don't have the right yoga pants and Ugg boots to go to on. So I can. Sorry. Bye. Now, another business that is no longer near my work is Chili's. Now, I never went there. I never went to this specific Chili's, but apparently Chili's is a cult.
Yes, we are. I'm afraid of Chili's after reading that article.
Good. Maxwell, I asked you to get me a beer from the fridge.
It's in the fridge. That was the fridge.
I know, but you got me a root beer. You see the root, ROOT. I don't want a root beer. I just want a beer. It's a silver thing. Remember the Blue Mountains? It's a can, not a bottle. Good try. I know you can do it. So the Chili's is gone, but the only bright spot to this in memoriam is that the Chili's is gone, and they put in a Denny's.
A Denny's? Denny's are disappearing.
Yeah, except they just opened a new one, and I'm so shocked because I didn't think the new stores could open near me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, there's a Denny's. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Did not think that stores could open. I thought stores could just die.
Are you sure you are not in a Twilight Zone episode?
Pretty sure I'm not. Pretty sure I'm not.
Because, like, just about all the Denny's by us all close all of a sudden.
That is really sad because I freaking love Denny's.
And so I find it really strange that one would open by you.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a bit odd. We have a Denny's here in a beautiful downtown scenic nowhere, Oklahoma. We have a Denny's here, and Natasha has banned it from our family.
Okay.
Because they stopped carrying the one thing she would always get.
Which is?
Jalapeno bottle caps.
Okay.
Like jalapenos,
like
but then they're like, yeah, like a jalapeno popper.
Yeah.
And it was an appetizer. So then she would go to Denny's, and for whatever reason, like when she was pregnant with Eleanor, Eleanor would be kicking and fussing, but then she would go to Denny's and get jalapeno poppers, and the baby would calm down. For whatever reason. So we would go there all the time. And so she would go and she would get the special, the appetizer special. And the appetizer special is you can get 2 appetizers for this one low price. And so Natasha would go in and say, okay, 2 orders of jalapeno poppers, please. And they would give her this mountain of jalapeno poppers. And then once Eleanor was born, they just stopped making them.
Those bastards.
So Natasha literally said, Denny's is dead to us. And then
now that you explain it, though, I can understand her reasoning.
Yeah, and then the rest of us are like, wait a second, when did you become Batman? And she said, when they took away my jalapeno poppers. That's when it became the darkness. So, in this shopping center, there are 4 main stores, 4 anchor stores, side by side, the big 4. Yeah. Michael's, Bed Bath & Beyond, us, and a Toys R Us. Michael's left, and I was upset about that because the people who go to a Michael's definitely come to a bookstore. But once Michael's left, that space is now taken over like 3 months out of the year by a giant Spirit Halloween store. So bye-bye, Michael's. And I hope the door hits your butt on the way out.
But like that makes it sound like so much the shopping area of the old world. You know?
Yep.
Like, people will come to your store not to buy books anymore, just to see them.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a book?
So Michael's is gone. Bed Bath & Beyond is still around. We share a wall. I personally don't care, but it brings people into the store. Then there's us. And now Toys R Us. We share a wall with them. We love them. One of our managers came from Toys R Us. And so we have like an in with the Toys R Us. And we have a really good relationship. And now, of course, they're one of the stores that is closing down.
Oh, no.
They're right next door. Do you realize how much that is going to freaking hurt us?
Yeah.
That is going to hurt us so bad that Toys R Us is closing down. The Toys R Us near my work, yes, Maxwell, is closing down. Not all of the Toys R Us's are closing down. There's still a Toys R Us in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. So an hour or 3 hours away. So hooray.
The Toys R Us by your work.
They are closing down in like April. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it
that
too.
one, not all the other Toys R Us. Just the ones that's by my dad's work.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. The managers at my store dream of moving our store to the big exploding area 4 or 5 miles away where all the action in town is happening. But in order for that to happen, we would suddenly have to be making 2 or 3 times as much as we are now. Basically, we'd have to become a superstore overnight.
Uh-huh.
And that doesn't seem to be happening soon. So we're basically just kind of stuck in this disappearing shopping center, and that sucks. But this company is a survivor. On my first day, someone said that I would be out of a job within a week. And again, 17 freaking years, okay? What, Bella? You just came in hot. You just came in hot. What's going on? What's going on?
I thought I should tell you.
Okay.
You know how they're doing the Tide Pod Challenge?
Yeah, I'm aware of the Tide Pod
Oh,
Challenge.
you
We've
Tide
talked
Pod
about it on the podcast, yes?
I just remembered my friend showed me a picture. Apparently some dudes were vaping Tide Pods.
Vaping Tide Pods.
Yes. It was amazing and it was perfect.
Okay. I'm going to take your word for that. And just to let you know, I'm not judging right now. Not judging at all. I have created a brand new internet challenge that is going to take the internet by storm. I can't tell it to you yet because it's not at this part of the podcast, and also it's really dirty. It'll be filthy, but it's going to take the internet by storm. Bella, just wait. Yes, Maxwell?
I got a game for the internet and going to blow the internet away.
Okay,
Called
what's your game?
Maxwell punches a bad guy. You have to get to the treasure chest, and the treasure chest is going to be a Lego one, and it's going to have some stuff in it, and it's going to have a Lego, the ninja mask, and you get all 3 parts of them, even including the head. You can make the green ninja and the fire ninja and the water ninja.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay, but one small critique, Maxwell. Whenever you say "and," you need to follow it with "wait, there's more."
Yeah, that's a good point, Maxwell. That's a good note. That's a good note for you.
And you will have an amazing career with Ronco and Ronco Brothers.
Or ShamWows.
ShamWows, yeah.
Yeah, you could sell ShamWows, Maxwell.
And that guy's dead, so there's like a need there.
Yeah,
A need that needs to be filled.
It's like a chamois. It's like a towel. It's like a sponge. A regular towel doesn't work wet. This works wet or dry. You can use it for the car, the boat, the RV. Well, holds 20 times its weight in liquid. Look at this. It just does the work. Why do you want to work twice as hard? It doesn't drip. Make a mess. Bring it out. You watch it in the washing machine. Made in Germany. You know the Germans always have had to make good stuff. I had that commercial memorized for a while, in case you couldn't tell. Finally, this week, I am going to be throwing away the script, as I like to do from time to time, and talk openly and honestly about my next story time.
Okay.
At first, when I first started doing story time, I didn't choose what story times we did because there was a woman, our community relations manager at the store in California. And because she had one child, it was understood that she knew what kids would want for story times. So she would choose all the story times. And so I didn't choose them. When she left, I had been doing story time for about a year and a half. And so it was decided that I would choose what story times we did. So I chose the story times for about 7 years, and I would do different story times. Pajama story time and pirate story time, superhero story time. I would do story time for whatever movies were about to come out.
Yeah.
And I would do a lot of wrong holiday story times. Like it's January 1st and it's super freezing cold. And I come in shorts and with, white stuff on my nose with a beach ball. Because it's summer story time on January 1st. Yes, Maxwell. Yes. You keep trying to interrupt me. Secretly. What? Dude. Bro. Dude, bro.
I just wanted to say, can we take a break now?
No, not yet. Why?
Because I need to do a part of the poop on film.
Okay, no. I'm trying to wrap up this segment here. Okay.
Like to wrap the podcast?
No, not wrap the podcast up. Just wrap up this one segment, this one part. Okay?
Want to take a break?
I don't know, Maxwell. You really want to do, he really wants his own podcast. Then, when I went from the store in California to the store in Oklahoma, somewhere in between there, corporate made story times mandatory in the sense that before every store had to do a story time on one story time a week.
Yeah.
But now every store has to do a story time every Saturday at 11 o'clock, and you have to read this one book. Yeah. And so every week they pick a different book for us to read, and most of the time it's good. Sometimes it's a book I don't like, but I always try and make it work. This Saturday, in celebration of Black History Month, I will be reading, and every store will be reading, the book I Am Harriet Tubman.
Okay.
And it's a good book, and it's an important book, is what I keep saying, and it's really good. The only problem is that I get a lot of really young kids.
Yeah.
Like 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. And this book deals real heavily with racism and violence and slavery.
Yeah.
It deals a lot with slavery. And
go figure.
And I'm usually really hyperactive and interactive. And what am I going to be doing? Hey, kids! Who here knows what a slave is? Real nervous about this. I get really young kids, and I have no idea how I'm going to tackle this. Last week at Storytime, I'm like, okay, so next Saturday we're going to be reading the book I Am Harriet Tubman. And do you kids know what I'm going to be doing next week for Storytime? Really, if anyone has any ideas, please let me know. I'm not at all nervous. So I read the book ahead of time just to prepare myself, and oh, Jesus Christ, this is going to be difficult. When we didn't do what we were told, our owners would whip us or worse. And it's like, oh, Jesus, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Yeah. Kids expect me to read the book wrong and be hyperactive and interactive, but how can I do that with I Am Harriet Tubman?
Yes, I understand. I see the dilemma here.
I don't know how I'm doing this, and I'm really panicky about it.
It's not easy to make slavery funny.
Yeah. How can I make slavery fun and interactive for the children without being publicly shamed?
Yeah.
So this is going to be fun. And I'm in Oklahoma. And I'm in Oklahoma, too. It's not like if I was in California, then people would hear that I'm doing this story time and they would say, oh, this is important. Yes, I'm going to get my whole organization to come.
Oh.
I'm gonna get my mother's group in, and we're gonna be there, and we're gonna support you. And yes, I'm going to. Can I mention this in our newsletter? Oh yes, and I'll have so many people show up, and all their kids will be excited that I'm learning about history. No, I'm in the middle of freaking Oklahoma, reading this book about how whites are bad.
Yeah.
I have no idea how I'm going to do this at all. You know. So this is going to be fun. Yay!
It sounds like it's going to be a riot.
Yeah, it's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. And that is it for Notes from the Bookstore this week. And remember, boys and girls and gender transformers, you too can save 10% on all of your purchases. And all you have to do is get Donald Trump to go on a snipe hunt, which... I'm pretty sure would be fairly easy, right? I mean, if you really think about it,
yeah.
I'm the best at finding snipes. Many people have said that I'm the best snipe hunter ever in the world.
That's the part that scares me is that he would get one. He would come back with a fucking snipe.
Hillary Clinton never got a snipe. She paid people off to get sniped for her. Yeah, it would be fairly easy to get Donald Trump to go on a snipe hunt, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like it's ridiculous that a president of the United States would be going on a snipe hunt. The only way to make it more ridiculous is for him to actually catch a snipe.
Yeah. Well, we still have homework, and we still have to talk about this week's movie, but I don't have. It's not the longest bit of homework and not the longest discussion. And Notes from the Bookstore had a lot of ad-libbing and took a little bit longer than I thought. So maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
We should take a break. And also, Maxwell apparently is itching to talk to the void. And also, you need to get to bed too, Maxwell. Okay? You need to get to bed. So you do not have a lot of time to talk to the void. You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
But do you hear me, though?
Yeah.
But do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Darn tootin', bucko. We will be right back with more.
The Pop Awesome. Do 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 do. Hair. Put your hand in your mouth, Dad.
That was okay. Podcasting, Maxwell, is not a visual medium, so they really couldn't see you playing with my hair during that. But I like to think that people still understood what you were trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Here was a brave little soldier. When we were all playing together, we used to play he was really brave, like he was just charging the enemy out of desperation with his bayonet. But when we were alone, we knew he was surrendering.
Got here, boop, podcast.
Kiss will be my instrument.
Eight more hikers.
We've got to get out of here.
I don't believe it! Yes, you can believe it.
And now on NBC Saturday Night at the Movies, Kiss meets the Phantom.
And we're back with more of the Pope on film. Hey, Bunny, guess what?
What?
No, guess. You actually have to guess.
Oh, mucous membrane.
Guess membrane. Jeez, it's like, you crybaby liberal snowflake cocks. Just like you guys to say something like mucous membrane. And in fact, it's obvious that the only reason you said mucous membrane is because you were paid to say it by George Soros and Hillary Clinton and Donnie Most and Black Lives Matter as part of some sort of liberal satanic conspiracy to undermine Donald Trump's administration. I bet. Member of the secretive deep state that's been hiding in the U.S. government, secretly undermining Trump's every move in an effort to make him look like some sort of idiot. And it's working. Just look at the president. He looks like an idiot. That has to be you and the deep state and George Soros and Barack Obama and Peter Tork and Peter Falk and all the other evil child-eating globalist Satanists who meet secretly under pizza parlors and secretly plot the destruction of the human race. God damn you, Budforth! You and your lies and your mucous membranes. I see through you! I see through your lies! Anyway, it's homework time yet again on the old Pope on Film podcast. People of the internet, your attention, please. Cease your Tide Pod eating and kindly pay attention! Besides, the Tide Pod challenge is so played by now. That's so yesterday. Now there's a brand new challenge that's sweeping the internet. It is so new that I just made it up.
Uh-huh. What is it?
I call it the EF challenge.
The EF challenge.
Yes.
That sounds
EF.
technical.
Well, EF stands for elderly fetish.
Oh, okay.
This is how it works. You go to a public place like a park or a library. You find the oldest person there, and you whisper in their ear the most graphically disturbing fetish you can think of.
Okay.
You're at a mall, you see an old woman, you go, "Oh, ma'am, excuse me. Hi, excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but in Japan, women stick live octopi inside of their vagina and ass and then masturbate until the orgasm forces the live octopi out of their orifices."
Yeah.
That's the EF challenge. It's going to take the internet by storm.
I'm betting it will.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind giving it a whirl myself.
Yeah. That was the first fetish I thought of. There's numerous other ways you can go with that.
Yeah.
Each week, the dreaded Council of Trumps selects a homework assignment and selects 100 Mexican Americans to die via the fiery ritual of carousel. A homework assignment designed to better all of society, but not gingers. So this bit is not for you, Carrot Top. You turn off your computer now! You weird son of a bitch. Have you seen him within the last 5 years?
I've seen him all muscular. Is he still all muscular?
Yeah.
That was fucking weird.
All muscular, and then his face is all like messed up, like he's had like 20 plastic surgeries. It's weird.
Yeah.
This week,
kind of shows that working out is not for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you and Joe Piscopo, it's weird.
Yeah.
And this week, we are learning all about some hardcore gangsta shit. We are getting our fucking margarine on.
Yes. Yes, we
with
are.
a long-form article from thetakeout.com entitled The Rise and Fall of Margarine.
I did not realize it was such a battle.
It was. There's a lot to this. A surprising amount to this. So, a bit of technical stuff first off. Thetakeout.com is in the same online family as The Onion and their serious pop culture arm, the OnionAVClub.com, which I have numerous times on the podcast expressed my love and adoration for.
Yes.
So it's a number of websites that are all in the same sort of umbrella. So there's thetakeout.com, The Onion, the Onion AV Club, Splinter News, Jezebel.com, some sort of sports website called Deadspin, Gizmodo, I think, and The Root, which is a wonderful website that deals with black news. So like news, but with an African American, I don't know, slant beat flavor, I guess. In fact, a few days ago, I read an article on Tuesday. I read an article on The Root about a Baltimore cop corruption case that was so shocking that it's both appalling and not surprising that this isn't being reported more in the mainstream media.
Yeah. I think I've heard of this.
Yeah. So the
I know there's a widespread investigation of cops somewhere. Baltimore is as good a place as any.
Yeah. The Baltimore Police Department is currently in court over one of the biggest scandals in the history of American law enforcement.
Yeah.
It has revealed how one of America's largest cities happens to be filled with crooked cops, but no one seems to be talking about it outside of Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So it started when a 19-year-old woman from New Jersey overdosed in 2011, and authorities in Baltimore began tracing the origins of the drug. It led them to a big drug crew and the fact that one of their own Baltimore police officers was involved with this giant Baltimore drug crew. So they investigated, and by the time they were finished investigating, 8 members of their own task force had been charged with crimes ranging from racketeering to robbery.
Yeah.
So there's all of these crazy stories about how these cops would literally just arrest these guys for drugs, but before they would arrest them for drugs, they would take any money that they had on them, and then they would at gunpoint take the drug dealer to their home, enter the home without a warrant, and take whatever other money they had at the house.
Oh. The couple I heard was they carry toy guns in the car with them in case they accidentally shoot a child.
Mm-hmm.
And that they will drive into an area like a park or something like that. They will come screeching in and stop suddenly, and whoever runs they'll chase and arrest.
Yeah. They figured out the toy gun thing because they were like, hey, wait a second. Why does this one police officer have a shit ton of toy guns in his car? It's amazing. They also believed that all young men with backpacks had to be dope peddlers.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So that's obviously True. And then, like, one of the officers who wasn't part of the corruption case, one of the officers was scheduled to offer evidence against the crooked cops, but he was mysteriously shot in the head with his own weapon the day before he was tested. Oh, how what a crazy random happenstance.
Yeah, that is exactly the story I've been hearing. Yes.
Absolutely insane. So anyway, all of these websites are now owned by the same corporation, and apparently this corporation believes that the way for these websites to stay relevant is to fill them with sponsored fucking articles.
Oh, I hate that.
So now I'm like, oh, the root.com. I want to learn about what's plaguing African Americans right now. And oh, look at this article about Baltimore cop corruption. And oh, look at this teacher in Alabama who's racist. And oh, look, there's a sale on Game of Thrones box sets on Amazon. Oh, hey, this is a really interesting article about gerrymandering. Oh, wow. Now is apparently the time to buy Bluetooth speakers. And it's annoying as shit, especially since I've just loved the Onion AV Club for so long.
Yeah.
And now it's difficult to weed through because there's all these horrible, stupid articles. And also now they've changed it so that back in the day, every website looked different, but now every website that is owned by this corporation, they all look exactly the same. They have the same layout. They use the same software to create the website. So now, the graphic is different, but the root looks exactly the same as the Onion AV Club, looks exactly the same as the Takeout. So it's really annoying.
Yeah.
But one thing that I like is that they're now regularly linking to each other. And when I was on the Onion AV Club, I'd get the Onion AV Club.
Yeah.
And now I'll be on the Onion AV Club and I'll be reading some article. It's like, oh, here's a good link to a Jezebel article about sexual harassment, or here's a lengthy Takeout article about the history of Christmas. And so that's how I found this article on margarine.
Yep.
I had already read a really lengthy article about Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving was just this one holiday where everything was, we're good and we spent some time together, and then suddenly it was all of these like news article people, that would be like, it's 1930, and if you don't have a huge Thanksgiving, then you're a piece of shit.
Okay.
Here's what everyone needs to do to have the greatest Thanksgiving ever, guys. And before it was just a time to kind of get together and hang out, and now suddenly it's like, oh, you're no one unless you have this massive bird.
Really? Is that part of the secret origins?
Yeah, it was a Takeout article just like this one on margarine. So when I saw the history of margarine, I'm like, okay, well, I really liked that article about Thanksgiving, so I'll give the margarine article a try. And first off, I love the idea of margarine being the victim of a smear campaign.
Yes.
By Big Butter. Like Big Tobacco, but with more fats.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
I kind of like the idea a lot of bogus butter.
Yeah. Bogus butter. This is bogus butter.
$60 million of bogus butter were sold.
Yeah. I just love the idea of like, here's just butter, and I never thought of butter. And I never really thought about butter or margarine or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then I look into it and I'm like, oh my God, here's this massive war I've never known about. Just this massive, lengthy, decades-long epic war that no one gives two fucks about. I find that absolutely fascinating. Like, if I looked, what other things would I find? Like, oh, almond milk is being terrorized by big cow.
Bananas. You kind of want to look for bananas. you want to look up bananas, bananas are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whoa, Natasha's coming in hot. Everybody is coming in here hot.
But okay.
Jesus.
So you have witches who are about to kill
If I have witches who are about to kill me, okay, I have some exes that are already there. Oh, actual witches. Okay.
gun and regular bullets won't kill them.
And a regular gun and a regular bullet won't kill
And they
them.
get cocky enough to say, "Oh, guns, scary." But you have bullets that are specifically designed to kill witches in the chamber. Do you say witch killing bullets and allow them a chance to attack you, or do you just fucking shoot them and realize, oh fuck?
I'm just gonna shoot them.
I'm just.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pass.
Fucking Dean Winchester. Witch killing bullets. Bitch, tell them! Then you get thrown up against walls! He loves his walls.
I'm not
I would
sure
like
what exactly that was.
I would like to take this time to say, first off, you can tell that it's a new episode of Supernatural.
Yeah.
Secondly, there was a period of about a month where I would get Natasha really upset because I decided that I was going to watch Lucha Underground with the same intensity that she watched Supernatural.
Yeah.
So I would be like sitting there on the couch, just like yelling off of the top of my lungs, "No, don't pile drive him!" Ah! And she's just she's just like 4 rooms away going, "I fucking hate you, Steve." "No, don't tag Prince Puma. What the fuck?" And like I burst into the bedroom. "Okay, so Marty the Moth Martinez." And she's like, no, just fucking get out of here. I hate you. If anything, I'm jealous because I wish I had something I was that passionate about, you know?
Yeah.
God, I got nothing. So Big Butter is demonizing margarine, and they go to the government and they get the government to pass all these laws against margarine because, well, I heard that margarine is made with cat's and dog fur and old boots, not like pure farm-made butter. So people are shitting on margarine, and then in places they forced it to be dyed pink.
Yes. New Hampshire.
Yeah. That's the power of Big Butter right there.
That is.
So margarine stayed shat upon until World War II when people had to like ration shit and margarine was cheap. And then basically it's the same thing, the Great Depression.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh man, it's the Great Depression. We're all poor. Now we can't afford butter. Gee, if only there was some sort of cheap butter that was out there. Maybe some sort of butter substitute that I can't believe it's not. But eventually butter won out and stayed champ until the 80s when suddenly everyone pretended to be fucking healthy.
Yes.
For like an entire decade, people were just like, "Oh, I'm jogging or yogging." I'm not sure of the pronunciation. Apparently, you just run.
Yeah.
So that's first off. Secondly, fuck Fabio.
Fuck Fabio. I think that is a fair thing to say ever.
Yes. Fuck Fabio. This technically beautiful model from Parts Unknown. Wherever he's from, I'm pretty sure that's the same mysterious Parts Unknown that Tommy Wiseau is from.
I would go with that. Yeah.
Like I would like to see Tommy Wiseau, Fabio, and Arnold Schwarzenegger in a room together.
Yeah.
Tommy, I'm such a big fan of your films. I am such a big fan too. Oh, well, thank you. And now it's French, but like I lost it like halfway through that story. But you hear where I'm getting.
Yes.
True story. His weird accent, Fabio's accent, was so thick and complicated that he could barely say in one breath, "I can't believe it's not butter." But that's not the kicker. He could barely say it, but he did say it. It like hurt him, but he said it. Kind of like Gal Gadot saying the name Sam Smith on SNL. Sam Smith. So Fabio could just barely say, "I can't believe it's not butter." Oh, that was exhausting to say.
See, that must have been somewhere where I gave up television because I do not recall any Fabio margarine commercials.
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah.
But then
I know it's not nice to fool Mother Nature.
Yeah, yeah. But then they came out with "I can't believe it's not butter" spray. Now, if you ever feel bad about yourself, here's a pick-me-up. If you ever feel sad or feel put down or just you're having a crummy day, then just say out loud, "I can't believe it's not butter spray."
Yeah.
Say that in one breath, and then you go, "Oh, hey, look at that. I can do something that America's most beautiful man can't." Sure, he might be America's most beautiful man, but at least I can say this without getting winded. Because literally they said, "Okay, Fabio, all of your 'I can't believe it's not butter' commercials are huge. This is basically like, where's the beef? This is huge. So now we're excited to do these 'I can't believe it's not butter' spray commercials. So hold up the spray bottle and say, 'I can't believe it's not butter spray.'" And literally he would be there going, "I can't believe it's not butter spray. I can't do it, guys. It's too hard. I am too pretty to say it." So he literally
You make it sound like he's from Louisiana.
Yeah, he was physically incapable of saying it with one breath. So they would have him say, "I can't believe it's not butter." Then they would cut. Then they would do a close-up on him, and then he would say, "Spray." Because he literally couldn't say it all.
Wow.
And I love that so much. I've got that. That's the one thing I have on Fabio.
Yeah.
That and I'm probably a better speller.
Just in general.
Yeah, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm kind of guessing, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. So last week we spent a little bit of time shitting on Fabio, and we talked about the roller coaster incident. And Bunny, you mentioned that it was the closest that mankind has ever gotten to a literal act of God.
Yes.
And I love that. I thought of that a lot. I spent a lot of time looking up the roller coaster incident. So if you're listening and you're a younger person, well, then fuck you. Just fuck you. I'm sorry. It's hitting me that I'm 40 years old. I'm going through some things. Anyway, fuck you.
Yes, I agree.
You can kiss my ass. Also, 1999, March 30th, 1999, Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia. They are opening a brand new roller coaster called Apollo's Chariot, and a number of people, dignitaries and famous people or whatever, are there to ride the first ride of this new roller coaster, Apollo's Chariot. And as it turns out, Fabio was riding as well. And it's important to say he was in the front.
Yes, he was.
He was in the front of the cart. So the first drop, this is like a math question. This is like one of those things you would get in like a college test.
Okay.
First drop is 210 feet down. And then the roller coaster in that first drop reached speeds of upwards to 73 miles an hour.
Okay.
So imagine it's right here on the first drop.
Yeah.
You are going 73 miles an hour down a 210 feet incline that America's most beautiful man had his face collide with the beak of a fucking goose.
On a roller coaster.
Yeah, and it panicked the people at Busch Gardens, and they said, "Are you going to close this?" And they said, "No, we're not going to close the ride." And the ride opened as scheduled. And the owners of Busch Gardens literally said, "As far as we can tell, this is just a freak occurrence that only happened once." And will never happen again. The amazing thing is not only is this literally a random freak occurrence that has really only happened once and has never happened again, but it also happened to America's most beautiful man. If anything, I just hope that Fabio on his way to the emergency room stopped at like a Circle K or a 7-Eleven and bought some scratch-off tickets.
Yeah. I mean, in part, I had actually felt very bad for Fabio and didn't like that people were like laughing over this because that had to hurt like a motherfucker.
Oh,
you got hit in the face with a goose.
It was like a
on a roller coaster going at 75 miles an hour.
It was on the bridge of his nose, and the beak went in, left a gash 1 inch deep.
Oh, man.
And just imagine 1 inch into your nose.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And they weren't
and it's not like he was doing anything stupid where it's like, he wasn't putting bottle rockets up his ass where if you get hurt, yeah, I'm laughing at you because you're a fucking moron. The guy was just on a roller coaster. How innocent is that? How completely American is that?
Yeah. And then just like the weirdness of I am America's most beautiful man, and I'm getting paid to ride this roller coaster. I am waving at the cameras. So many cameras here to see me, the most beautiful man, and I am waving, and I'm going to ride this roller coaster. And yes, they're taking pictures of me and my beautiful looks because that's all I have. My beautiful looks. And then 3 minutes later, the roller coaster comes back, and he's covered in blood. And he's got to feel horrible and embarrassed. And then, of course, not only does he feel horrible and embarrassed, and there's a 1 inch gash that was left by a goose inside of his face, but of course, who's there waiting for him when he comes back but all of the fucking press that he was just waving at? Hello, yes, I'm Fabio, the most beautiful man. Take my picture. Yes, okay. Now, what is he like? Nothing to see here. And so they weren't sure what happened, and Fabio just had to be rushed to the emergency room. So it's like, oh, what happened? Was it a bird? Oh, I don't know. And so they scoured the area, and sure enough, they just see this dead goose floating in the pond under the roller coaster. I'm like, I think we found our Fabio goose.
But they put it in handcuffs just to be on the safe side.
The safe side. They did shoot it 23 times.
Yes.
So yeah. His face collided with a goose.
Yes.
Yeah. The most beautiful man had his face disfigured by a goose.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of it too. It's like again, I feel sorry for him. I feel bad that had to have hurt and all of that. But, still, could you pick a better person to get hit in the face with a goose?
Oh, yeah. Here's the amazing thing. And I'm pretty sure that this is true. Just one goose, probably the nicest goose in the world, like the Gandhi of geese.
Yeah.
It's just flying around. Oh man, I just love being like I'm the goose Jesus,
Yeah.
just flying around. Then suddenly here comes this weird faced human and kills the Gandhi of geese. And so then after that basically started the goose ISIS.
Yeah.
Kind of like how George Bush created ISIS. So Fabio's nose created this evil terrorist goose organization who vowed revenge against the humans for what they did to their goose Jesus. And they're like, oh, so like 8 years later, okay, finally, after so many years of planning, We have come up with our ultimate plan, an act of sheer terrorism. Yes, Goose brothers and sisters, we will take down this plane being flown by this Sully character. So that was the Miracle on the Hudson.
Yes.
That was geese trying to get their revenge. But it didn't. Sully was amazing, and he landed it in the middle of the Hudson River. So now what are the geese going to do next?
I don't know.
And none of the politicians are talking about this.
No. I more picture a colony of geese that are really afraid of the roller coaster, but they live by the roller coaster, but their dream is to move. And one brave goose tries to solve the problem by showing everybody that there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of at the roller coaster. So he goes flying around, he's zigging and zagging around the roller coaster, and he's hit in the face with a human.
Just imagine it from the geese's point of view, too. Like you're just flying in the air, and then suddenly you just turn, and you see this giant human's face coming directly at you. Just imagine that the last thing you see before you die is Fabio's face colliding with you. Like, goddamn. Like, Fabio's face killed an animal.
Yes.
It's fascinating to me.
Oh.
Like I want to do like an animation of that geese, and he's having just a beautiful day, and then suddenly the last thing he sees is just Fabio's giant face coming at him, and that's the last thing you see is just that's the geese. That's the goose that was killed by Fabio.
Oh man,
that is frightening. So at the height of margarine's popularity, according to this article, America's annual consumption of margarine was 12 pounds per person.
Yeah.
That's a crap ton of country crock. But recently people have slowly realized, oh shit, butter isn't that bad. Then, of course, there's the queen of white privilege, Paula Deen, who just frickin' sweats butter.
Yes.
And then in 2015, McDonald's finally stopped using margarine.
Oh.
They'd been using margarine since like the 80s. And then in 2015, they're like, okay, we're going to switch to butter. So they use butter on the grill and then in whatever their biscuits or whatever the hell. But yeah. So butter is back, and I can't believe it's not butter and country crock are disappearing. But the bottom line is, you may think, oh, a lengthy article looking at the history of margarine, gee, that's really going to suck.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a pretty good article, and the mere fact that you just blindly assumed that it was going to suck, wow, you're a bitch. And I'm sorry that I keep attacking the audience. But it's not my fault for attacking the audience. It's more of the audience's fault for being so attackable.
Yes.
Just to be clear, they're bad people on both sides. On both sides of the podcast. And that is it for homework this week. And we here at the Pope on Film humbly and sincerely, so
yeah,
we honestly hope that your hearts, minds, and pores have all been suitably opened. But don't think you're getting out of here that easily, Buck Chacho-o. That would be a combination of Bucko and Muchacho. The difficult part is the second O, so Buck Chacho -O.
Yes.
Buck Chacho-o. Don't forget next week's homework. And for next week, we will be heading to the 1970s with an actual full-length episode.
Okay.
Of the long-forgotten, excruciatingly horrible originally adult, but then children's aimed variety show, The Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show.
I also hope that we will be covering the movie that they were in.
Oh God, they were in a
Basically
movie?
Starred in, and it was pretty okay.
Well, this show is not pretty okay.
It was kind of a comedy horror sort of thing. There were zombies, and all they could say is, "What difference does it make?"
Oh well, I'll have to look that up and see. Because I was
had-
really happy to find a full length episode of the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show.
Yeah.
So there's a lot here. The 1970s, a long forgotten brother band, America's former love of variety shows,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that for the last 20 years, people have still kept trying in vain to bring that shit back. Like, I'm sorry, Neil Patrick Harris, but you're going to fail.
He was trying to bring back a variety show?
Yeah, he had it was like the Neil Patrick Harris show, and it was on for like a season, and it was him doing thongs and him doing skits and special guests and celebrities, and it's like, Jesus Christ, this isn't that weird Brady Bunch show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not Sonny and Cher. In fact, you're better than Sonny and Cher. We just don't want that anymore. It's not that time. Stop trying to bring this back.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my
Because
favorite.
everybody got tossed the fucking variety show.
Oh,
everybody.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
remember.
Who the hell even heard of the Hudson Brothers before their fucking variety show?
Yeah, Pink Lady and Jeff.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember Pink Lady and Jeff. And then there's my favorite part of the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show, The Bear.
The Bear.
The Bear. Open credits to the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show could not be more 70s.
I think I have to agree. Yeah.
It is physically impossible for anything to be more 70s than the opening of the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show. It is perfect.
They are wearing bell bottoms, if I am not mistaken.
Oh, uh-huh. It's perfect. Everything else is horrible, but the opening is perfect. So that's next week. Very excited about that. So join us next week for more homework with the Pope on Film podcast. And cut on that.
Yes.
So we still have this week's movie to talk about. Should we take a break before? We've already taken a break.
Yeah, we've taken a break, but we could take another one. What the hell?
Okay, cool. We'll be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Do, etc. All right, I will be back.
Okay, I will be back as well.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was an age of wisdom. It was the age of the foolish. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of the light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair.
I love you, podcast.
Could you just introduce yourself?
My name is Doug Kenny. I started the National Lampoon.
What if you say, I was the man who changed comedy forever, but I couldn't change myself?
Really? Blow me.
If we're running our own magazine, we can do anything we want. We can publish knock-knock jokes.
Knock, knock.
Who's that?
Me.
Me who?
Me not doing the magazine.
That can go in issue 1.
It's a total failure. We're selling less than half our print run.
You're not gonna hurt him, right?
No.
What are you doing?
Don't worry, I don't think there's any bullets in there.
Catches!
The Mormons are protesting. The feminists hate us. What do we do to the Catholics? Liza Minnelli?
We are being sued by Disney.
Maybe it wasn't such a hot idea to have Minnie Mouse flashing her tits.
She has pasties on.
All right, ready, girls? 3, 2, 1.
Catherine, I'm the woman you're hitting on.
Doug Kenny, Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
We're barely able to put out a magazine.
Then let's barely be able to do something else.
The first National Lampoon movie.
Laser orgy girls.
Doug Kenny, Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
One of the writers of Animal House.
Food fight!
You call this success?
Mostly an excuse to party.
You've ruined this company.
We can't come back a failure.
I do care about you, Doug.
Laugh, goddammit!
I need to see someone.
Inside that bungalow, some of the creators of Animal House are working on their next movie, Caddyshack.
And I'm sure it's gonna be just as crazy.
Doug, we need to decide. Is it clear he's jerking his dick off here?
Yeah, because we can make it higher or lower depending on the size of my dog.
These actors don't look exactly like the real people. But come on, do you think I look like Will Forte when I was 27? You think Will Forte is 27?
Let's do this. This is for the magazine, right?
And we're back with more of our Go-Go Show. Well then, Bunny.
Yes.
Here we are at today's main event. A Netflix original movie. Now, please don't run away.
Yes.
A Netflix original movie by the writer and director of Wet Hot American Summer, which chronicles the creation, meteoric rise of the National Lampoon. Now, I wanted to do something different with this discussion because the National Lampoon was about being rebellious and going against societal norms. And in many ways, National Lampoon was very much a sort of comedy version of 70s punk rock.
Yes.
So we'll definitely be discussing this week's movie and the National Lampoon and Animal House and SNL and how fucking great Jeff Winger is in this movie. We'll get to all of that. But I will also be wildly changing the subject at random intervals
Okay.
when you least expect it.
Okay.
So just be prepared for that. Okay, Bunny?
I will.
Okay. So this week, we will be discussing the 2018 WWE Royal Rumble.
Okay.
This was some weird shit, Bunny. Some weird-ass shit. It was odd because there was like a match, and then there was a match, and then the Rumble happened.
Okay.
And then there were like 3 matches. And then there was another Rumble. It was weird.
That sounds weird. Yes.
It was really weird. Like it was just difficult for me to watch because I don't really know the WWE anymore. I am about the WWE the way that my older brother is about music.
Yeah.
While I was watching the Royal Rumble, my brother was watching the Grammys at the exact same time, at the exact same night. And it's funny because my brother and I were basically saying the same thing.
Really?
About two very different things. I'm there watching the WWE, all a bit upset and confused, and then I check to see what my brother's doing, and he's watching the Grammys, going, "I don't know any of these people."
Yeah.
Wait, who are you? What do you do? I haven't heard of this before. Have I been gone that long? I'm so confused. What's your deal? What the hell are you wearing? And why are you with that guy? I'm so confused. And basically, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly the same as me. You know?
Yeah.
I have a tendency of paying attention to the WWE roundabout the road to WrestleMania. So the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, maybe what comes after WrestleMania, and then I pretty much just tap out. But I'm trying to care more about wrestling because they recently signed indie wrestler Ricochet to a contract with their training facility, which could lead to Ricochet being on TV in some form or another in the WWE. And Ricochet was Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, and God damn it, I love Lucha Underground.
Yes.
And this means I should probably start paying attention to the WWE, because literally at any second, Prince Puma could just be right there in the middle of it. And so it would behoove me to start paying attention. So I decided to watch. And it's weird because for the first time ever, there was a women's Royal Rumble.
Okay, I didn't think about it, frankly.
It's interesting because I'm like, oh, there's going to be a women's Royal Rumble. Okay, that should be interesting. And then I've been hearing rumors for like the past 6 months that former UFC darling Ronda Rousey might appear in the WWE.
Uh-huh.
And like very well paid, a very famous New York Times best-selling UFC former women's UFC champion Ronda Rousey might appear as a wrestler in the WWE. And then I thought, you know what? She's kind of a big deal. I don't see her doing this. But then over the last like 4 or 5 months, the WWE has been firing a lot of people.
Have they?
Like letting this person go, or getting rid of this person. This person we are firing because he has sexual harassment allegations. And also, he's a high-paying guy, so we're just getting rid of him too. And every time I saw news like this, the first comment on the news was always, oh, you know why they're firing so many people? They got to save money for Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, maybe she'll show up, maybe she won't. That'll be kind of a big deal if she does, but I don't think she will. And then a few hours before the Royal Rumble, I heard that the Women's Rumble was going to be what main evented the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
That they were going to have a match or two, and then the Men's Rumble, and then more matches, and then the Women's Rumble would end everything. And I immediately said, oh, well, then it's definite fucking Ronda Rousey showing up.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that they would allow the women to main event. The women have never main evented anything, let alone one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. So that definitely means she's going to show up. That's not going to be a surprise. So I'm watching the Rumble and I'm trying to figure out who people are, and I'm not caring. And then in the Men's Rumble, entrant number 27 got me, and I stood up and I was screaming.
Okay, that's very encouraging.
There are very few people who could show up in a WWE ring that would make me stand up and start screaming.
Who was it?
But I heard that theme music and I just lost it.
I'm an ass man!
No. Oh, also, you know who else showed up? I forgot to Rey Mysterio was an entrant.
Oh, okay.
He was like in the last 5 people. So there's a possibility that Rey Mysterio's back. I've heard that was just a one-off and that he hasn't officially signed a contract yet with the WWE, so I'm not sure what his status is. But The real shocking one is that they're doing the countdown for the Royal Rumble. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here he comes, entrant number 27, and then I just hear, "Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through."
Oh,
The hurricane shows up.
nice. Okay.
Fucking lost it. And today I was on Instagram and I saw a behind the scenes photograph, and it's the Hurricane with former WWE heavyweight champion Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns has like his hand on the Hurricane's shoulder and he's looking all sad. And it confused me. So I did some research, and god damn it, this is the most beautiful picture in the world now, because when the Hurricane was in the WWE, his partner, his sidekick, was Rosie.
Okay.
And apparently,
I don't remember that, but I don't know the Hurricane until he came to WWE.
Yeah, Rosie was the Hurricane's sidekick for like a year or two, and they'd be there together to the Hurricycle, and they'd run the Hurricycle, and he'd be in like the sidecar riding.
Yeah.
And it was really cute, and I didn't realize it at the time, but now Roman Reigns is like the top guy in the WWE, and he's huge. And Rosie has died, as many wrestlers do. But I didn't realize that Rosie, the Hurricane's sidekick, was Roman Reigns' older brother.
Oh.
And it's such a sad picture to see, like, the younger brother of the Hurricane's dead partner, like putting his hand on the Hurricane's shoulder. It's a beautiful little picture, and when you know that backstory, God, it's sad as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Hurricane came back. So the Women's Royal Rumble was last, and I heard rumors that Ronda Rousey was going to show up, and so I assumed that she was going to be number 30. But oh my God, the Women's Rumble match was amazing, and the reason why it was amazing is that any female wrestler you can think of that used to wrestle in the WWE, there's a 50% chance they were in this Rumble.
Uh-huh, okay.
Because when you think about it, it was a 30 women Royal Rumble match. I don't think that there's that many women in the WWE. So like Lita showed up and wrestled.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus, Jacqueline, who's really old, like the first black WWE Women's Champion, she showed up. Molly Holly, I thought she was dead.
Holly.
I thought she was dead. That surprised the hell out of me. Kelly, Beth Phoenix, like a bajillion people showed up, and everyone's like assuming that number 30 is going to be Ronda Rousey, and there's like chance for her and everything. And then it shocked everybody when number 30 showed up, and it was Trish Stratus, and they're like, "Oh wow, okay, so Ronda Rousey isn't showing up. All right then." Apparently, this was just a wonderful, beautiful celebration of the women of the WWE. And over the last year or two or three, Stephanie McMahon has really spearheaded, hey, the women in the WWE are objects to be stared at. But now it's like 2015. We can't have this anymore. We need to make the women's wrestling division important and strong. And so they really have transformed women's wrestling into, it's no longer the thing you go and get a beer during.
Yeah.
It's something important, and it's really a big draw in the WWE. So the Women's Royal Rumble was a celebration of the women of WWE and how far they've come and this and that. And then a Japanese wrestler won, and she's there in the middle of the ring deciding whether she's going to challenge the women's champion of Raw or the women's champion of SmackDown. A really shocking moment. And then fucking Ronda Rousey shows up.
Okay.
At the end, and she just stands in the middle of the ring and points at the WrestleMania sign. And it's like, shit, I was right the whole time. That none of this, the women main eventing the Royal Rumble and this celebration of women, fuck all of that. This was all just for Ronda Rousey. So then I was so happy, like the next day. Have you seen Wendy's Twitter account? Like the actual restaurant Wendy's?
No.
They have a Twitter account, but for whatever reason, they're really fucking mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously not run by some like corporate board. It's just some dude somewhere that they've given free reign to, and the guy is just savage as fuck. And so people have a lot of fun just like fucking with Wendy's and seeing Wendy's get into fights with McDonald's and Wendy's taking a shit on KFC and just fighting Arby's for no reason. Like Wendy's Twitter account is really, really fun. So someone asked the Wendy's Twitter account, how come you weren't in the Royal Rumble? So the official Wendy's Twitter account said, because we heard that all we had to do was show up at the end and point at a WrestleMania sign. It's like, damn, you just made fun of Ronda Rousey. So yeah, it's a big deal. It made the news. It was on fucking CNN and ESPN. Ronda Rousey is now a full-time WWE wrestler. So hooray! Shit.
Yeah.
But it was all worth it because the Hurricane came back. He was only in the Royal Rumble for about a minute, but it meant so much to me to see the Hurricane run into the ring and John Cena's there, and he tried to chokeslam John Cena like he used to do. He used to always try and chokeslam all these big, huge dudes.
Yeah.
And then John Cena's like, nope, and throws him out of the ring. It was just a beautiful moment. And it meant so much to me because I love that man.
Yes.
The Hurricane.
I enjoyed the Hurricane.
Yeah.
He had a good little gimmick going for him.
Yeah.
And a bit ahead of his time.
Yeah. What he needs to do now is they need to bring the Hurricane back full time, but like they do in Hollywood, they need to give him a gritty reboot.
Yes.
And like you see him and he's standing on a gargoyle in the rain.
Yeah.
Backstage. And they're like, who brought a gargoyle backstage? Not only that, why is it raining? And he's just all angry and upset. Something bad happened to me. Now I talk like this. A gritty reboot, like all superheroes. The Hurricane needs a gritty reboot. If you're listening, WWE. So anyway, this week we will be discussing the brand spanking new 2008 Netflix movie. But just because I said Netflix movie, please don't run away. A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
Yes.
Based on the 2006 book of the same name written by Josh Karp that no one fucking bought. So, Wet Hot American Summer.
Okay.
That was a good episode. It's one we did forever ago. No one saw Wet Hot American Summer in the theaters.
No.
And in 2003, when my brother and I were quoting that goddamn movie, no one knew what the fuck we were talking about. Because my brother and I, we just primarily speak in movie quotes. We just talk in references. And so we would just be at the bar and we would be doing karaoke. And it's like, thank you, everybody. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go hump the fridge. And like, no one knows what we're talking about, but he knew and I knew. And that's just like, that's all that mattered, you know? But Wet Hot American Summer had its loyal fans. And as that film's cult grew, so did the name of director David Wayne. He was from MTV's The State. He was also a member of the Comedy Central show Stella. He did a number of movies after Wet Hot American Summer, including Wanderlust, Role Models, and The 10. The 10 is hard to find, but it is worth it. I still laugh every time I think of CAT scan machines or Diane Wiest.
Okay.
That is honest. The CAT scan machine is hilarious. Love that scene so much.
For me, right there, that's a very good recommendation.
Yeah. So many dead kids. So David Wayne got popular. Wanderlust starred Jennifer Aniston.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't do good in the box office, but still, I thought, David Wayne can get Jennifer Aniston now? Wow. And when he did Role Models, that movie cost $28 million to make, and it made about $100 million in the box office.
Good.
So David Wayne was getting known. Meanwhile, the cult of Wet Hot American Summer grew and grew to the point where in 2015, Netflix teamed up with David Wayne to essentially create the Wet Hot American Summer cinematic universe with a documentary of the making of Wet Hot American Summer, a Wet Hot American Summer prequel series, and a sequel series that I will eventually get around to watching.
Get around to watching, but you're such a big fan. What is delaying you?
Marvel was delaying me.
Marvel was delaying you. Fuck
Marvel was delaying me. There's so much Marvel on there, and not a lot of it's good. So basically, Netflix is now in the David Wayne business. So Netflix is now getting first crack at David Wayne's talent salad, his crunchy talent salad. FYI, crunchy talent salad, verbal copyright 2008, the Pope on Film podcast, all rights violently reserved.
Yes.
So in 2016, Netflix announced that this film, A Futile and Stupid Gesture, was going into production. By the way, for those of you who aren't in the know, the title, A Futile and Stupid Gesture, is obviously a line from Animal House.
Yes.
So I know that film very well. So Bluto says to Dingus in the strip club, "Hey, Dingus, one day in the future, Netflix will give millions of dollars to Adam fucking Sandler."
Yeah, that's horrible.
Dingus drops his cigar and says, "What the fuck? Adam Sandler? That would be a futile and stupid gesture." And that's where the name comes from.
Aha.
You, if you don't know that quote, you probably just don't know Animal House like I do.
I am guessing no, I probably don't. Because no,
Yeah.
I don't even recall that scene.
Yeah, that's the
which
amazing.
is creepy fucking weird.
Yeah. You know what? Probably Mandela effect.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Some people thought that Nelson Mandela died way earlier than he did, and some people thought that he wasn't a rapper. It's really weird.
Yeah.
About Nelson Mandela. I remember him as being named Nelson Boom Boom Mandela. But people also don't remember that, which is weird. That's another Mandela effect thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like no one else remembers Nelson Mandela's successful boxing career.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah. Or that time when he killed a guy in the ring. Like, oh. So, Bunny.
Yes.
Cocaine.
What I thought there was like, wow, you're really late getting into the cocaine addiction here. You know? That really should have been earlier on in the movie.
Cocaine was heaven for poor people.
Okay.
Cocaine is an actual mythical thing. It is literally a mythical heaven for peasants. So in the Middle Ages...
Really?
Yeah,
nice.
No, this is an actual thing. There's a fucking Grimm's fairy tale about it. So cocaine, Cockayne, it was basically believed that the rich people, the landowners and the dukes and fucking whatever, they would go to heaven where they would sit on a cloud and play a harp and there would be fruit.
Yeah.
Because in heaven, just to let everybody know, because I know a lot about heaven, in heaven, all you do is wear a diaper and eat grapes all day.
Yes.
On a cloud and nothing else.
We have that on very, very good authority.
Yeah. If anyone says you don't, then that person is a crazy nut job.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the peasants? They don't want any of that Shiite Muslim. Where's the alcohol and the sex that poor people like?
Yeah.
So that's where the legend of Cockaigne came from. Cockaigne was essentially a heaven, but for fucking poor people. So there's a bunch of different stories and poems and fairy tales and stuff about Cockaigne, the place where all the poor people went, because poor people and the peasants, they're working in the fields and they're poor and they're peasants and they one day hope to have a good life. So basically, that's what they would get in heaven. They would go to Cockaigne, which was this magical land, and there's descriptions of what Cockaigne is like, and they're all fucking crazy.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, so here now are a few actual descriptions of Cockaigne in various legends. Okay?
Okay.
Again, it's all true. The houses in Cockaigne are made of sugar and cakes.
Okay.
That's gotta be nice. If you're hungry, you can just eat your walls.
Yeah, but then you would have to get a new house, and okay, maybe I'm being silly here, but I think it would be more efficient to just buy candy and cakes.
I don't know about that. Sometimes you just want to eat a load-bearing cake. Because they taste better. Like everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. In the land of Cockaigne. The streets are paved with pastries, which I don't think is safe.
It doesn't sound safe to me.
Here's my favorite part of the legend of Cockaigne. This is the one legend that people seem to know and remember the most. In Cockaigne, it rains cheese.
It rains cheese.
Yes. It's obvious that the legend of Cockaigne, the poor people heaven, was created before they started making spray cheese. Because that can will kill you. And then where do you go if you die in heaven?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's the sort of question that, like, if I was 22 years old and stoned, I would think about that for about 45 minutes.
Yes.
And have a conversation that I would not remember while the band Fish is playing in the background.
But see, I don't know. For me, squeezed cheese is America.
Mm-hmm.
Only Americans can come up with squeezed cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
The French wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Oh, hell no. We can come up with sprayed cheese because as Americans, we don't have a good self-esteem.
True.
There's a much better self-esteem in France. Oh no, we cannot do this. And then meanwhile, America's like, what was that? I'm sorry, I was just stapling my nuts to my leg. I read an article somewhere, I believe it was on Jezebel.com, and I fully believe this. This weekend at the Super Bowl, Justin Timberlake is going to be performing the halftime show, and I think that as penance, he should at least show one nut.
I think that's fair.
It's only fair.
I think it's only fair.
There are shops in Cockaigne, and they give everything away for free.
That's very nice.
Yeah, very nice. Here's a crazy story. This was in like a poem in the Middle Ages. Pre-roasted pigs walk around with knives and forks inside of them to make them easier to eat.
Ooh, that hardly sounds fair, though.
Yeah. And how do you kill it if it already has like a knife and fork in it? Are they happy about it? Is it like a Meeseeks box? Is a cow going to be coming up to me? Hey, how you doing? Will you kill me, please? Well, let me die.
Yeah. I don't know, because we know that stabbing it with our steely knives don't work.
Yep. Just can't kill the beast.
No.
The rivers in Cockaigne are made of wine.
Okay.
You stay eternally young.
Like real wine, or is it made of wine?
I just wanted to be a bubbling brook, you guys. No, actual wine. You can get drunk in cocaine. You stay eternally young. And here's the best part about cocaine, which makes me want to go there. Sex whenever you want.
All right.
There are nuns, but they're really horny nuns. One of the stories I read said that everything was opposite in cocaine. So in cocaine, there are friars that smoke and cuss, and there are nuns, but they lift up their garments so that they can show their naked butts. Typically. And also, you can have sex whenever you want. So now I'm torn, Bunny, because cocaine sounds like an awesome ass heaven to go to when you die, but it goes two ways. I notice in the description that there's no mention of gel balls or treehouse slides.
No, and that is a failing, I would have to say.
Yeah, I don't think there are any carnies in cocaine. So it's kind of a toss up right now for me.
When you would think oddly that all the carnies would be there.
Yeah. Now I read a book by Chuck Palahniuk, and it was his take on. It's a series he's working on. He's written 2 books in it. He hasn't yet released the 3rd book, but basically he's writing like an 80s teenage version of the Divine Comedy.
Okay.
And literally, it's about a girl in hell writing letters to Satan, and each chapter starts, "Are you there, Satan? It's me." And then but then it becomes like the Breakfast Club, because she meets all of these other young people in heaven, and they become best friends, and they try and break out. And it's not until the end of the first book that she realizes that everyone is from a different time period.
Ah.
Now, I like Chuck Palahniuk, but I think that's bullshit.
Okay.
Something tells me that if I want to go to cocaine, because I honestly believe my afterlife belief is that whatever you believe happens to you when you die is what you get, which is why there's all of these Christians going, "Oh my God, I just died and I came back and I went to heaven and there were pearly gates and people with freaking robes." It's like, yeah, because all of your life you were trained that that's what happens to you when you died, and then you died, and where did you go? Exactly where you were taught you were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Wherever you want, whatever you think is going to happen to you is what happens to you when you die. So the way I see that is I get to choose some pretty awesome heavens.
Okay.
So, but something tells me that if I die and I go to cocaine, I'm going to be filled with a bunch of Middle Ages motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go to cocaine and suddenly I'm, come hither, boy. And I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm out of it. I'm out. I got to get out of cocaine because fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
Racist motherfuckers. Unlike Chuck Palahniuk's assessment of heaven, I'm pretty sure that it would be obvious. Like, you'd be meeting someone in heaven and that person's like, "What up, soul brother?" And I'm like, "Okay, 70s. Gotcha."
Yeah. Okay.
See? That easy. That easy.
I can see that, and I can agree with that, yeah.
Are you wearing mixed fabrics? So, reviews. People hate a futile and stupid gesture. I'm not sure why. I liked it. Yeah. Currently, the film has 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. People hate this movie.
Yeah,
and
I'm not really understanding why either.
Now, Bunny, I'm sorry to have to do this to you, Bunny.
Okay.
But let's go back to the movie Bright.
Yeah.
Because remember, Bunny, Only a Bright can control the power of the wand. Everybody knows that. That's the great prophecy. You know what's weird? Well, Will Smith calls his partner Shrek.
Yeah.
So Shrek exists in this universe.
Yes, it does.
That's just odd, right? It's kind of like how that was the one thing that bugged me watching The Walking Dead, and everyone's like, "Oh, walkers! We have walkers coming up here," and I'm like, "So George Romero doesn't exist here?"
Yeah.
That bugs me. George Romero doesn't exist. Like you need so what? Did Bela Lugosi exist? Did Plan 9 from Outer Space come out in your universe? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
But when you see a film like Bright with fairies and elves and orcs, then you kind of assume that, yeah, they won't have Shrek.
I wouldn't think so. But Shrek is technically an ogre.
Yeah, but
they're already well. What if Shrek is actually an autobiography?
Yeah, what if Shrek is like a fairy tale to orcs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you recall that episode, the Bright episode, I said that the movie was okay. It wasn't the best. It was pretty good for a Will Smith film, but that's a low bar.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was that the movie, what I liked about it was what Bright stood for. That the film was a big budget film that could easily come out in theaters in May or June or July. That this film is okay. It's not the best, but this film is an important milestone because, hey, maybe after this, the words Netflix original movie won't be something to shudder and run away from.
Yeah.
That I don't like Bright, but I like what it stands for. It means that from here on out, maybe we could actually see some bigger budgets and better talent and bigger names and better quality. So I think that this week's movie could be a very good example of that.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I don't think it had such a huge budget. It didn't need a huge budget.
Yeah.
But this is a story like, why hasn't this been told already? Why has it taken this long? Like I know very little about the National Lampoon. I had never heard of National Lampoon until Animal House.
Yeah.
You know? And then you watch this movie and good fucking God, everybody is involved.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of shocking that this one person was so influential in American comedy and people have no idea who the hell he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I want to know how it plays into everything else, you know? Like wasn't pretty much the original cast of Saturday Night Live, didn't they always say that they had all originally come from like the Groundlings or something like that?
That's what I always thought.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. So how did they get from there to National Lampoon? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that what happened was they were all in Groundlings, and then the National Lampoon picked them from Groundlings to help them with the National Lampoon. So then when they were then stolen by SNL, SNL said, yes, we got them from the Groundlings. We're going to skip a step and say these people were all from the Groundlings and nothing else.
Yeah.
I think that's where it came from. I will say something. I thought I knew the story of the National Lampoon, But then Martin Mull shows up in the beginning and is basically, this is my story. I am an older version of the person you're going to be watching this film. And I'm like, wait, so he didn't die of drugs? I'm confused. I guess he is still alive or lived to be as old as Martin Mull is. But then he didn't. He died very young. And I'm like, shit, this movie fucking fooled me. That's what they were doing the whole fucking time. God damn it, this film. I gotta tip my hat to this film because they fooled the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that I knew the story, and then fucking old ass Martin Mull, Professor Plum or whatever, shows up. And then I'm like, oh, so I guess I don't know the story. Oh wait, I kind of did know the story. I was kind of right. There you go. The real life people were pretty close. You didn't see the Gilda Radner a lot, but she was really good.
She was, yes.
And Chevy Chase, hats off to freaking Joe McHale.
He really did a good Chevy Chase.
He did a great Chevy Chase. Because Joe McHale and Jeff Winger and Joe McHale as host of The Soup, he already has this sort of cocky demeanor. He has a book out, and it's a self-improvement book to help people be more like him.
Nice. I appreciate that.
And now apparently he's in the Netflix business too, because sometime between now and summer are going to be premiering like the Joe McHale show starring Joe McHale as Joe McHale.
Okay.
And Joe McHale hosted the show The Soup for a decade.
Really? That's where it came from.
Yeah, and there was someone before him. John Henson was originally the host.
I remember John Henson.
Yeah, because he was the skunk. He had that one streak of white hair on the top of his freaking head. And then he went to do Wipeout. So then Joe McHale took over, and I didn't realize he was there for a full decade. Like, that's a long ass time.
Well, I think it actually started with Greg Kinnear first.
Oh, Greg Kinnear, and then John Henson, and then Joe McHale. Okay, there you go. So yeah, so now apparently, as far as I can tell, the Joe McHale starring Joe McHale as Joe McHale is basically just going to be a legally different version of The Soup.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that because I loved that show, The Soup, whenever I could watch it. And now it's going to be on Netflix, which I have.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Good for freaking Joe McHale. What else did I like about this? Oh, they did such a great job of explaining exactly how Saturday Night Live was a ripoff.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for this film. That was good and that was important, and I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
but once you start seeing people pile up like John Belushi, Gilda Radner, and all that, then you know that's what it's going to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think the moral of this story, if there is a moral, I think the moral of this story has to be, yay, cocaine. That's basically just the underlying, cocaine is awesome.
That was a lot of my takeaway too.
Yeah.
Especially with that Chevy. You can't hang out with that Chevy.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. Chevy freaking Chase. And I will say that this film has inspired me because I do now want to know. So wait, where did fucking National Lampoon's Vacation come from?
That's an excellent question.
Because I knew National Lampoon's Animal House, and then I was aware of Caddyshack, but then National Lampoon's Vacation was huge, and they made a shit ton of those.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So where did those come from if this guy was dead?
That is a really good question.
And another thing I've been telling people about.
We need a historian and a private detective for things like this.
Another the thing I've been telling people about is that I've never seen a biopic be so honest.
Yeah. He was totally a dick, and he came off like a dick in a lot of cases.
No, but also the fact that they literally showed a list of things they changed or cut out.
Yes. That was brilliant.
God damn, that is some serious, honest shit. And I paused it a couple of times, and one of the things was these guys were way more racist. And I'm like, yeah, I've flipped through some National Lampoon magazines, and there's some serious racist shit in there.
It looks to me as it's the next step from like Zapped comics.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. It's an adult mad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like an offensive adult mad magazine. Yeah. But I really liked this film. It was a really good film.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. And I liked seeing how good they did with the characters, man. And again, Mondo Mike was, I don't know what else to call him. That's how I know him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what else to call him, but God damn. And that's how it was with all the characters. It was like, you know, you just look and like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
I've always hated him.
Oh, but Thomas Lennon did such a good job, and he's getting upset because someone sent him a stick of live dynamite. But that's not what's upsetting him. What's upsetting him is that they're trying to take the dynamite away from him. That is mine. That was sent to me. That is legally my property. And they're dragging him out of the offices, and he yells, "Rape! Rape! I have now warned you verbally that I am going to rape you." It's like, God, I love him.
He did an excellent job. I mean, I was able to recognize a guy that I haven't seen in like fucking 40 years.
Forever.
And maybe only saw like once or twice.
Yeah.
You know?
He was the first lead writer of Saturday Night Live and the first person to have a line on Saturday Night Live.
Uh-huh.
Because he was the guy who was teaching John Belushi to speak English. So I would like to feed you to the Wolverines. To the Wolverines. So he had the first lines ever in the first Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
In that first season of Saturday Night Live, they did something so brilliant that I still hope that one day SNL will do it again.
What did they do?
Rob Reiner was hosting, and he went out and he did his monologue, but then at the end he messes it up and he goes, man, I'm sorry, I messed up that line. Okay, let's take it again. And he starts from the beginning of his monologue.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Rob. Rob, yes? This is live. You can't start over. And he's like, what? This is live? I thought this was taped. I haven't memorized my lines. Are you serious? This is live? So he literally fucks up the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Because he is acting as if he didn't know it was live. So he messes up everything else he's in for the entire rest of the show. He comes out half dressed in a costume and he's messing up the lines. And it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because for the first time ever in an episode of SNL, there's continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the entire episode, throughout every skit, there's one unifying factor, which is this guy is fucking up because he thought it was taped. And they did it the first season. They never did it again. And I'm still watching, hoping that one day they are able to do something like as good and amazing and brilliant as this, but they never have and they never will until I host.
Yes.
Then I'm bringing it. Then I am bringing it because that's freaking genius. But I love this movie.
I really, yeah. I what are people bitching about? What's the problem that it's getting such bad talk?
The main one that I keep reading, I think, is from Slate.com. This film bit off more than it can chew.
Okay.
Another one that I read said that it spent more time talking about accomplishments than it did talking about characterization.
Nah.
Another one that I read.
I think they're full of shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm giving as my professional opinion.
Yeah.
They're just full of shit. Fuck them.
So that's all I got for this week's movie. It's on Netflix. It's a damn good movie. You should watch it. It's really fucking good.
It's excellent. I love it. If you're a fan of those films,
yeah,
especially at the time, those were fucking groundbreaking. Animal House was really groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And how does Stripes play into it? Because Stripes is very much the same type of comedy.
Yeah.
As Animal House was.
Yeah. Meatballs, that was another one.
Yeah.
Meatballs.
I haven't seen that since it was first out, so I can't say anything about Meatballs.
I haven't seen Caddyshack for a really long time, like a really, 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 really long time.
It's on Netflix, but I've seen Caddyshack a lot, Yeah. So I'm not feeling very nostalgic about Caddyshack. It was good. It was fun. It was really what they said in the movie was pretty true, though. It was very disjointed. Parts of the movie did not connect. Like Chevy Chase did not connect as a part of anything else in this movie. Not this movie. Yeah. Caddyshack.
Yeah, he's in his own different film.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes absolute sense.
Yeah. But I remember it being well received, although I can understand the fear if you were opening up against Airplane.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Because Airplane now is something completely different from that, even.
Yeah. Well, at first, I was going to go with Symmetry.
Yeah.
I was going to go with Symmetry, and I was going to pick an Animal House or a Caddyshack to be our next film. But I've been sitting on a lot of award winners.
Okay.
For a long time, and Oscar screeners and very important soon to be Oscar award winning films, and we've got to tackle one of those.
Okay.
The problem is that a lot of them are very serious, and I want something that's not so serious. I just don't want to tackle that right now. So next week, we are doing the Academy Award nominated film, I, Tonya.
I, Tonya. Okay, if you pick that, okay, that's a good one, because I kind of want to see that.
The challenging thing for next week is all I've seen of Margot Robbie is fucking Suicide Squad.
Okay, yeah.
So this woman will have to try really hard to win me.
Yeah.
But from all that I hear, this film is fucking amazing.
Well, it was such a fucked up story to begin with.
Another thing that I've heard about the film is that what I've heard is the film true? Well, it is to her character.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting because so many times, this is a biopic. This needs to be 100% honest and truthful. And this is just the honest and truthful story from one person. Oh, well, that's totally different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see this film.
Yeah. Very much,
Oh.
very much. I've seen commercials for it, and it looked very interesting.
Yeah. So next week is going to be fun. Next week, we're going to be talking about rounding up illegals.
Uh-huh.
Next week, I have an exciting interview that we're going to be doing with my evil twin.
Okay, good.
We're going to be talking about the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle show, and I'm going to be spending a good portion of next week's notes from the bookstore shitting on a famous person.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. And of course, I, Tanya. So next week is going to be a good episode. But if we're talking about this episode here, this episode that we are now wrapping up, wow. I laughed. I cried. So many amazing moments.
I've had my eyes opened sexually.
Yeah.
During this episode.
We came to the defense of porn actresses and ducks who want to have sex with you, and
Fabio.
Baltimore cops, Alice in Chains. Looking back now at this amazing episode, I gotta say, I think this was a pretty damn good episode.
I think it was a pretty damn good episode too.
Yeah, I'm glad we are in agreement.
Yeah. So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve saying thank you for listening. And on behalf of Natasha and Maxwell and Bella and Eleanor and everybody else, I just want to say thanks for listening. And we will see you next week, you godless heathens. And I don't think Bella's running in here. No, I think we're good. Waiting a few seconds out of respect. All right. Do 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 do. Cut and print.
The haters always say, Tanya, tell the truth. There's no such thing as truth. Everyone has their own truth.
I was the best figure skater in the world at one point in time.
You call that a clean skate? Stop talking to her. That girl is your enemy.
Who's that?
Jeff was my first date ever. And my mom came.
You need to see a wholesome American family.
I don't have a wholesome American family.
Nothing's ever your fault. I was embarrassed for you.
My entire life, I've been told I wouldn't amount to anything. And you know what? Maybe I would.
4.8.
How do I get a fair shot here?
We also judge on presentation.
We're gonna need to even the playing field. I know a guy, shouldn't even be saying his name. Derek.
The press wanted me to be the pile of crap. I never did this. What is going on?
We're with the FBI.
They know something.
What can you tell us about Tanya Harding?
I don't know a Tony Harding.
Aren't you her bodyguard?
When I was a kid, did you ever love me?
I made you a champion, knowing you'd hate me for it. That's the sacrifice a mother makes.
You cursed me. America. They want someone to love, but they want someone to hate. I mean, come on. What kind of friggin' person bashes in their friend's knee? Who would do that to a friend?